Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Turnbuckle Talk. My name is Sam Tastic29, and the man above me, below me, to the left, to the right, everywhere around me is JJ Dub97, my friend and co-host. And welcome to another fantastic episode that we have lined up for you, recapping the week of WWE. And yeah, I mean, that's what we're focusing on at the moment is WWE, and we'll expand into other wrestling further on down the line. But for now, we're recapping WWE, and obviously we've got the PLE of King and Queen of the Ring this weekend. JJ, how are you, my man?
I am doing very well, thank you, brother. I am doing very well. What an interesting week we've had again
I know
on
it
TV
seems to
and
be the
on
case
socials.
recently. Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
socials. Yeah,
shit does not stop blowing up, and
no,
I am
that's
here for it.
absolutely. And we've said this week in, week out. We're here for it. It's what we want. It's what we've needed. And it's an exciting time.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's getting
It's
very
an exciting
interesting at the
time.
top, I tell you.
Yeah.
Well, for me anyway. Others might disagree, as I've seen elsewhere, but yeah.
Have you been getting into debates with people? Have you again?
No, no, no. I'm one of those. I'm a backseat rider. I'll let people just thrash it out, and then I'll just like a comment just to wind
Okay.
someone up.
Yeah. See,
Uh,
I'm completely the opposite. I will go out of my way to say something if I wholeheartedly disagree with it, and I'll quite happily call someone a clown if I think they're being a clown.
oh yeah, that is fun and games of it, but liking a comment that is really bad is even funnier because they don't even know what to do. They don't know how to call you out because you've not said
I
anything.
know.
You just
Yeah,
press
because you
like.
haven't done anything in the wrong, so to speak. Yeah, absolutely. I know
So
what you mean. I've done that as well.
it just rattles them. That's what we like to
Yeah,
do.
I see what you mean. I saw some comments in Instagram on posts non-wrestling related, and I'm like, damn, I really want to say something about this, but actually the best thing to do is just like it.
I saw a great TikTok video the other day of someone clickbaiting, but it was great. It was titled "Gunther signs with AEW,"
Oh
and
wow.
it was a Gunther promo in an empty stadium.
Round of applause, that man or lady, whoever's done that. Fantastic. Good on you. Keep on doing you.
And I was like, at first I was like, no, I actually believed the bait, and then I realised what
Yeah,
was happening as soon as the video started, and I was
that's
like,
funny. That's quality.
this guy has got his fishing rod out, and it is long, and it has got many bites.
He's looking for big bait. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got some great bait, and he's looking for a big fish.
Oh
Good
yes,
on him. Good on that
and
man. That's a great way to do it.
they're easily catchable as well. So
Oh yes,
it was great. It was
they
great.
are. They are indeed. With that said, should we jump straight to it? Should we
Oh
go
yes,
all the way back to last week on Friday and
talk some
hash it
smack.
out over? Yeah, talk some smack and some down with it. Um, what was your favourite part of SmackDown this past week?
Well, I'm going to be controversial probably in what's going to come out, but I enjoyed the Nia Jax Jade Cargill spot.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Definitely. I think it was a great spot. Wasn't my favourite, but up there, definitely with one of the best.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
completely
just liked
agree.
how different it was for a women's match.
Yeah,
How
I
they've
like
tried to
how.
experience a different angle and
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
what we see with the men's all the time.
I love how they had Jade on her knees talking to her daughter,
Mm.
and then Nia coming in and pulling her away and getting in her daughter's face. And then obviously the back and forth and then just the rampage from there on out was great. I think it
I
was a
just
great angle. And I think both of them, to be fair, worked well together to pull it off.
Oh yeah, I just love the way that Nia got in her daughter's face and just went, "Your mother sucks."
She's like, no, you suck. No, she doesn't. You suck.
I was like, "This is
Oh,
excellent.
indeed.
This is excellent." But
It's
yeah,
great.
I
It's great
didn't.
stuff. That's what you want from a heel. Somebody that's going to quite happily get in the face of an innocent child and tell them that they're shit.
Well, you called it. You said Nia
Yeah.
was going to win. I went with Jade, and boy, was I wrong.
I mean, to be fair, when I watched it back, because I didn't watch it live, but when I watched it all back, I was like, actually, the disqualification makes 100% sense.
Mm.
because Nia gets through by default. We're not ready for Jade and Bianca yet. They've only just won the championships yet. You know, they've got to defend them a couple of times before they implode. I think what they'll lead to is that Bianca and Jade will implode on losing the championships because they'll
Well,
disagree
there was
over what happened or something.
a little
Or
spot, weren't there, with them
yeah,
two? It sort of the tensions begin, where
yeah.
obviously,
And why wouldn't it? You've got two big, super strong ladies that
well,
are in the
big
same
egos,
team.
aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say
They're going to
next. Is the
clash.
big egos? Yeah, of course, of course. But yeah, I like that spot. I thought it was a great match. I think they both did well. Wasn't my favorite. I mean, my favorite was old school Orton. It sounds really cliche, but
Mm.
the promo with Orton at the end, where he is saying to the Bloodline, "Let me remind you of who I am. I'm a 14-time world champion and soon to be King of the Ring, and I'm going to introduce you to." You know, I'm gonna while we're introducing people, I'm gonna introduce my foot to your ass, and then I'm gonna introduce you to the three most deadly and powerful letters in the WWE universe, the RKO. I love the fact that Randy came out and he wasn't, you know, that he didn't let them intimidate him. Obviously, he was never going to anyway. But the fact that he called out
Nah,
Chimichanga, that's what I'm calling him from now on. By the way, it's not a racist thing. I just think
Jimmy
Tamatonga,
Chonga.
Chimichanga. You know,
I
the
like
fact that
that.
he called out Chimichanga, and you could see Chimichanga was seething. He was just like, "Oh," and you know, you could see his face is like a rabid dog ready
The
to
guy
go.
don't talk anyway. All I've seen him do is
He doesn't
bark,
talk.
and that's
He
all he
doesn't.
done in his little backstage moment. I was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
fearing. I was fearing for myself. I thought he was going to start barking at me.
But I mean, I think that's the nature behind his character, isn't it? That's what makes it so.
It's
I
got to be,
suppose that's
yeah.
what makes. Yeah, I suppose that's what makes him quite fearful. Is that you don't know what he's thinking because he's not talking. He's just got this crazy look about him and this, you know, that he's barking. He's just insanity.
It's
So
just a
he kind of,
wild. He's a wild animal.
yeah,
He's got.
exactly, it is.
It's not.
So that
He's
was
yeah. He
my
can't be
favorite.
tamed.
Yeah, that was my favorite because that was Orton back to his best, I think, on
Oh
promo wise.
yeah,
I mean,
that
you give Orton 30
RKO.
seconds. Give it. Oh, that RKO with Mello. Oh. I mean, the way that Randy turned. If we're going to talk about that first, let's talk about that. The way that Randy turned after that slap from Mello. And Mello just stood
Yeah,
there with like, yeah, yeah, I'm getting the better of him. And then Randy was like, bitch, you just unleashed the Viper. You just hit a Cobra in the face. And now you're going to take the bite.
riled up a
I
man
loved
that
it.
knows
Yeah,
how to
loved it.
win when its cards are against him.
Yeah, absolutely. But that, yeah, again, even at his age, and obviously you have to give a huge credit to Mello as well for the setup. But,
Oh,
you know,
he's put on some. Even
uh,
though he's had two losses that
yeah,
obviously you wouldn't expect a new guy to have, but they've not been simple losses. They've been to great people, Cody
exactly.
and
And that's
then
great for him.
Randy.
Yeah, and that's great for him because it means that he can put on a show against two, the current champion and a former world champion who is still up there with the very best. And even though you've taken a loss, you've put on a hell of a show. So credit to him for not only his performance, but that setup for that RKO was amazing by him. And for them to both nail it together is fantastic. And I
Yeah.
love the fact that Randy can literally hit an RKO out of any position.
Oh,
And as a fan, you don't expect it.
amazing. No, not so well. I didn't expect that at all. Like you say, I was just expecting him to go for it again and miss, and obviously
Yeah,
Carmelo to roll out of it, and then they go back into
yeah.
starting from the grapple again. But
But
all
no,
of a sudden,
I love the fact that Randy is moving forwards to face Tamatonga. Um,
yeah, which
I think they were the two that we were really kind of
interesting,
anticipating. Yeah,
a very interesting match that's going to be in the basis. Obviously, there's a heated rivalry already there from previous with Orton and then the Bloodline, and then
and then
Backlash.
obviously you had Orton at Backlash with Owens. I mean, where does that's the thing? Where does Owens come into this? Is Owens going to
Well,
walk out with? Is he going
is
to be with
there,
Randy at Saudi?
or is he going to come out and turn and obviously give a DQ win? Because that's all I think is. I
Yeah,
mean,
I think it
vice versa. Sorry, he's going to come out, wind up the Bloodline that much that obviously they're going to resort to weapons or
intervene
something, and then get
and Randy
disqualified.
gets a DQ win.
Yeah, I because I
Potentially, I
can't
mean,
see
it would.
Tama getting pinned. There's no way. or
I
chimichanga.
think
There's
yeah.
no way he loses by pinfall.
No, I thought yeah. I think they want. I mean, if he loses by pinfall to Randy, then I mean, you can't have any gripe about that. It's Randy Orton. But I understand what you mean. The fact that that he can go on and say, "Well, you never beat me," it continues that gripe. It's a step towards keeping a rivalry alive,
Yeah,
but also it keeps that insanity and that wild animal character hot, rather than saying, "Oh, well, you lost to Randy, you got your first loss," and he gets a DQ. A bit like the Nia and Jade situation.
yeah.
Jade didn't lose in the sense that she was pinned or submitted. She lost because of her own anger.
Which then sets
So
up next week going into
exactly that.
obviously Bianca versus Nia.
But
Jade's going to be by Bianca's side more than
yeah,
likely
yeah, I would think so.
because, and then obviously Bianca and Tiff. That was a great match. That was a good one. Another
Oh
good,
yeah, fantastic match.
another good
Tiff
show
is
put on.
Tiff is great actually. I still don't like her character, but her in-ring ability
Yeah,
is great. You can see the fact that she's, and I said this last week, and I'll say it again and again and again until I'm blue in the face. The fact that she's only been wrestling for 2.5 years is just
it's mad.
absolutely
You wouldn't
incredible.
think it at all. Like
No,
some of the
the fact that
acrobatic
she's on
stuff
a
she puts on.
yeah, and the fact that she's already had a championship match. She's now been in the Queen of the Ring tournament. She's on SmackDown as a regular occurrence,
Or
and she's
Elimination
getting over with
Chamber
the
she was at
yeah,
and in like
exactly, getting over with the fans, and she's done all that in 2.5 years. What is she going to be doing in 10 years' time when she knows the business backwards?
exactly. This is why I think she's got an aspect of
Yeah,
Trish status in her. Obviously, she's
yeah.
never going to match. I don't think she'll ever match that status. Like, there's a chance if it's done right, but she's just got
If
a
she
bit of
gets the right
Trish about
pushes,
her with the blonde Barbie.
yeah,
It's the cockiness and just
yeah,
the
yeah.
fast pace of what she does in everything.
I know what you
She
mean.
doesn't.
I mean, like
She,
I say, I think for me the character's a bit stale just because it's been done so many times before. I'm not saying that she doesn't do it well. It's
no.
just the creative side. I would say exactly the same if you brought if you brought Trish back 20 years ago. Back then I was younger, I hadn't seen it before, but now you see it a bit too often. She does play the part fantastically well, and you can see that because she's over with the fans.
Mm.
But for me, just that character overall is stale. It doesn't matter if it's Tiffy or anyone else. It's just a bit stale.
Yeah, there's chance. There's plenty of chance to evolve that though. Like you say, obviously
Yeah.
she's not been in that character
Oh
for
yeah,
too long,
absolutely.
so
But the fact,
it
but
can
the
go
fact
anywhere.
is, yeah, yeah. But the fact is, she plays the part stupidly well. She's been doing it for 2.5 years, and she's hit the nail on the head. And she can only go up from here, surely.
Well, that's what you'd imagine, but
Yeah.
obviously in the world of
But yeah,
professional
overall,
wrestling, we've seen it
yeah,
go
you
tits
haven't.
up a lot.
That's the thing, isn't it? But the match overall with her and B was a great match. I think it was the
Yeah,
right decision to have Bianca win, because
yeah.
I think it can set up that jealousy angle maybe with Jade if she beats Nia.
Again, yeah, that's a good shout because then she's obviously beaten Nia like Jade couldn't do. Got to the
Yeah,
final, Jade couldn't do.
yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah,
And it's
there's
kind of like Jade's the new girl. She's living in Bianca's shadow, and everyone, is expecting her to be
yeah,
on her own, to be up there with the best, but she can't get out of Bianca's shadow, kind of.
exactly, yeah. Like you're behind like the experienced one, as you would call
Yeah,
it, because obviously Bianca's been there, done it. So
that's it.
you're mentoring her like from her, but at the same
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
you just can't escape
She
her.
becomes
So
her
how do you
teacher,
get
maybe.
escape her? You got to beat her.
Yeah, yeah, exactly that.
So
But yeah, I think overall a good side on that side of things.
oh
Um,
yeah,
there was some good spots on SmackDown this week, actually.
some weird
The other
weird.
one that I was
Go on.
no, the other one that I was going to say is about just Chimichanga and LA Knight. I thought that was good. I love the fact that LA Knight got in the face of the Bloodline. You could see on his face with Solo, he so wanted to hit him. Like, come on,
Oh,
right here. I mean, obviously, he took the distraction, but the fact that he got in the face after he took out Tonga Loa and then was like, come on, Solo, right here, just hit me.
like yeah, he loved it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Like
Yeah,
Solo though, I just All I
can't
can
get it out of
think
my head. I
though,
can't unsee it since you put that
Pepe Le
gif.
Pew, Pepe Le Pew. That is
I was
what
just
he
about to
reminds me
say,
of.
since you put the gif in our WhatsApp chat with Boss, I can't unsee Pepe Le Pew every time I look at Solo now.
Honestly, that flat hair does
Can't
not suit
unsee
him.
it. No, I think it needed a bit more volume to it. It definitely looked better than it did 2 weeks ago. But
Just the suit angle's not suiting him. I can't take him seriously in a suit.
it's the red suit for me.
I just
I
don't get
don't
it.
understand the reds. I mean, it looks like what's that guy in the Nutty Professor, Buddy Love, when he becomes his alter ego and he thinks he's all that. I think that's kind of got the Buddy Love
Just
vibes going on there from Solo.
just
You know,
no.
next I'm expecting him to come out and do the old Carly kiss cam.
He's just a tracksuit. Just stick him in a tracksuit. That'll
Yeah,
suit him better. He's
that's it.
more
Put him in a tank top, wrap his hand up.
sorted, not a freaking suit and a Under Armour shirt underneath.
Yeah, exactly. With a black leather glove.
Like,
Come
come
out looking
on.
like a chubby Michael Jackson.
He's not fearful at all looking like that.
No, it's not. I mean,
But
next, instead of when he goes to do Simone Spike, instead of screaming, he's going to go.
don't. Jesus, man.
Oh,
Honestly.
could you imagine? I mean, it would never
So,
happen. Let's face it. But yeah, I like. I still love LA Knight. I still think. I mean, I get why
uh,
they're pushing thing.
there's a weird angle though, weren't there? There was a
Tamatonga.
couple of spots with him clashing with Carmelo backstage a few times.
Yeah, I saw one of them where Mello was like,
That
I'm
could be
giving
for an
you the
interesting
opportunity to
rivalry.
welcome me to SmackDown, and LA Knight said, I'm too busy for this. Go play somewhere
But
else.
it's when he walked into him the second time after LA Knight was pissed off losing, and then he goes, "Oh, this guy again!" Like ready
He
just to
plays the part
clump
so
him on.
well. LA Knight needs a massive rocket up his ass.
Oh yeah, I see a thing earlier of LA Knight in a when Triple H was doing these fitness videos.
Yeah.
There was a one
Yes, he
LA Knight.
was.
He was in the background of one of them, but the
Yes.
camera panned to him, and he done his yeah.
Well, this is the thing. He's done it for years because there was a TV program where he was on, and they were doing like all these challenges, like these Muscle Man challenges, and he was on there with The Rock. Because there's a lot of people that have said LA Knight sounds like The Rock, and he does. There's a lot. If you listen, there's a
Mm.
few particular clips where he does this interview with Chris Van Vliet on YouTube, and he says, "Oh yeah, there's a similarity." And there's one bit that LA Knight starts talking in this interview, and you just go, "Oh shit!" Actually, I hear it. I really do hear it 100%, and I can't get away from it now. Every time he says a certain thing, I'm like, I know I'm looking at LA Knight, but I'm hearing The Rock.
That's mad. He's destined for something. There's got to be a belt
Yeah.
within his grasp at
No.
some stage.
Does he? I don't want to go into too much depth about it now because we'll cover that towards the end of the pod. But there is that angle there, particularly for LA Knight in that United States Championship picture. Is all I'll say for now. If they're not going to put him in that if they're not going to put him in that WWE title picture at the moment, then surely he's got to be in that picture for the United States Championship.
Well, I mean,
Bare minimum.
you've got to be because if it's not that, then what are you doing with him?
Exactly.
What's the point of having someone that is right at the
But then
top of their
again, are
game?
they looking to do what they've done with Cody? Bear in mind, Cody came back. Everyone was like, "Oh, Cody's going to beat Roman at WrestleMania." He lost. We had to wait 2 years for Cody to win the title. Are they doing that with LA Knight? Are they trying to get the hype out of him as much as possible? See if they can. But again, you don't want to push it to the point that it's too late.
Yeah, that's the thing. And if you're putting him on TV week in week out as well,
Yeah,
it's soon going to go stale if he doesn't start winning the big matches.
yeah,
Whereas
exactly.
Cody, when you brought him in, he was on week in, week out, but
Well,
he was
he was
winning bigger
undefeated.
match. He was winning. He was
Yeah,
like, yeah, he was,
exactly.
but he was competing against the best.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously LA Knight
And this is the thing,
isn't
and LA
getting that
Knight's gone
chance.
from beating AJ Styles to losing to Tamatonga. And I
Yeah.
get why
So
they've done it. I get why they've done it because they're looking at the picture with Tamatonga and Randy and the bloodline, and I understand it. But if you look at it from a logic point of view of the opposite, not the opposite, but an alternative,
Mm.
LA Knight would have been a good choice as well.
Oh yeah, of course it would. Yeah, but and then again, it's like you can't have Tama get pinned, and I don't think
No,
an early disqualification this early in this
a
bloodline
disqualification, and it'd be too much
against
as well.
them
If you look at the disqualification with Jade and Nia, yes, it's the women's division, but it would just be too much. What, 2 DQs in one night? Okay.
for the
I
probably
think for
similar
for the
things as
virtually
well.
the same tournament. Yeah, exactly. It just wouldn't sit right. I don't think.
No, because it would just
Um,
it's like a safe bet in their
yeah,
eyes, but and then to us it's like, well, it's boring. I've seen it once. Why do I want to see it again? And then
exactly that.
it will take it out. It takes that greatness out of the second match because if they've built up to it, had a great match, and all of a sudden they get DQ like they've just had.
Well, yeah,
It
absolutely.
it,
It's
it
just
taints it.
yeah, it taints it completely. I completely agree with you. So
So
it's going to
yeah, I
be
don't know
interesting
what's
to
next for
see.
Knight.
I mean, I think there's going to be a fight there with Mello. Surely, he's already hacked off with him. We've got Friday night before King and Queen of the Ring. We've got
Yeah.
SmackDown this week in 2 days, so maybe they're going to set it up for then. I don't know. Being that it's is SmackDown in Riyadh? Is it in Jeddah in Saudi, or is it taking place in the States?
Oh, I
Are
don't
they
know
doing
actually.
SmackDown live in Saudi? Because if they do, that's a good place for Mello
Well,
and
I suppose they're going
Knight.
to have to because you've got obviously Randy versus Tama, which is a
Yeah,
semi-final, and then you've got Bianca and
mm,
Nia.
yeah, true.
So yeah, it wouldn't work. Obviously, if they're in the States, then they've got to fly out.
Mm.
I'm not too
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, it makes sense that there's Friday night SmackDown in Saudi, which is great for us in the UK because it means it's going to be on a lot earlier.
Another early show. Damn it. But yeah, as much as I want these
But
early shows, it's hard to get around them as well. It's hard to keep up with them.
it is, yeah, it is. I mean, depends what time it is because I'm working. I want to be able to watch it, but then again, Friday, I'm on my own on Fridays. I could probably get away with watching it. To be fair, just have it
So
in the
yeah,
corner.
that'd be interesting. Although yeah, it could be later on. To be fair, in the
Yeah,
evening.
that's it. So on to onto another big spot for SmackDown. Probably the biggest spot on SmackDown is Logan Paul changes the game. Comes in with his new contract, his sleazy looking lawyer who looks like he's been sweating like a pervert in a church.
And his little kiddie entourage as well. Like what
Yeah, oh my god. It's like
those little
Bad Bunny
fuzzballs.
from Wish. Is it
Honestly,
Wade? What was it that was it Corey or Wade Barrett called him the broccoli?
Wade Barrett. Yeah.
Wade Barrett said he's got a broccoli. Got broccoli head.
Honestly,
But
well, I'm happy for this. To be honest with you, that there's only one title on the line now. Because
I
after
am
last week,
too.
I was pretty peeved that we're gonna
Yeah,
get
we
a
both
cheap
said
double
this.
champion.
Yeah,
What obviously we thought was going to happen. So we thought, double champ. Well, we know who it's going to be. But now, obviously, we've changed. Logan Paul's like, no, 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 no.
yeah.
We're just going for your
Do you
title,
know what my
Cody.
favourite part about this whole spot was?
Ripping the
About this whole
carpet
segment?
underneath Cody, though. I thought
Yeah,
that's one
it's
way
a good
to
it's a
get
good way
more
to
out of
do it.
Cody.
Yeah, and we did get more out of Cody. The fact that he called him, what was it? He said that he's a human hat rack, and that he's, and he was a bit more volatile with his promo
Demanding
towards.
all this just go away and they'll
Yeah,
sort it themselves.
yeah, exactly.
So he's taking matters into his own hands.
Yeah, but that was my favorite spot on this was Aldis. I love Nick Aldis, and I love the fact that when Logan went, Nick, do your job, Nick. You could just tell Nick wanted to smash him in the face there and then. You could just tell that he actually wanted to rip Logan's little head off.
It was the lawyer getting involved. When he started talking, I was like,
Ah, it was his sleazy
uh,
eyebrows that came up
I'm
like this
sorry.
for me. What was his name? What did he say his name was? I can't remember. Jim Guillory or something like that. Jim Guillory.
God
He's
knows. Definitely
litigator, one of the best
something from
lawyers in the
Craigslist.
country. He probably got his dad out of all those charges all those years ago. Um, I won't say much. I'm not going to say any more on that. That's all speculation. But yeah, I love this spot. I love again, like you said, we both agreed last week that to have a double champion at this point in time just makes no sense, and it would just be pointless. So the fact that they've now ripped it out from that and it is now for the WWE title. I mean, unfortunately, the one thing that does do is gives us a guaranteed result. We know exactly what's going to happen. I think we knew that was going to happen anyway, but that also then sets up a possibility for a new number one contender for the United States Championship. Again, going back to LA Knight and Mello, they could be in that mix quite happily.
Yep. Again, yeah, like you say, yeah. But also, just out on the whim though, you say guaranteed result, but obviously Logan's loved out in Saudi.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense that he loses this match,
No, don't.
or is he
Squad
going to
special
be the
brass
double
nuts.
champ?
No, don't tell me this. You can't say this because this is just. I
Are
mean,
they gonna
how
are they
badly?
gonna are they gonna tease us with, oh, we know the predictability of Cody, oh, he's gonna win, and Logan all
Mm.
of a sudden gets the 1, 2, 3.
I mean, as a wrestling fan, don't like I've said it to you, I've said it to multiple people. I love what Logan Paul has done for the business. I love his capabilities in the ring for the short time he's been doing it. There's no shadow of a doubt that he is good. But when you look at the likes of the people Cody is beating and has beaten that deserve that championship, that wholeheartedly deserve it based on their body of work in the past, their merit, everything they've done within the WWE, they, in my mind, that would diminish the championship if Logan was to win it. That would
Yeah,
completely ruin it for me.
I'm not saying that.
Oh no, I know what you mean. Yeah, but
I'm just trying
we're
to get the
playing devil's advocate
speculation
here.
rolling. Yeah,
Yeah,
obviously.
it's possible. It is possible, but
Just because of where it is. If it was anywhere
shit.
else, you know that Logan's not winning. There's no guarantee. There's no chance of
But
Logan winning
also,
at all.
what we haven't seen yet is what has he put in his contract that has not been covered? Because
Exactly.
he
All we
said
saw was it was for Cody's
all
title.
we
That's all we
saw,
know.
yeah, all exactly. All we know is that the US Championship has been taken out of it, and Cody's championship is up for grabs. But we don't know whatever changes have come in there.
Like
Cody's
what
already
other
marked.
stipulations are about.
Exactly. Cody's already mentioned that Logan always goes for those brass knucks. I almost guarantee you now that if he
Extreme.
uses the brass knucks and it goes to disqualification, he's going to have his lawyer or some bullshit come out and say, "Well, actually, you signed the contract to say that I can use them during our match," and it's going to
That's a good
stiff Cody
shout.
up.
Yeah, but like we could see surprises. There could be some random interferences.
Oh, Jake
You never
Paul,
know.
Jake Paul.
Oh, could you imagine
I mean, Cody had that
KSI?
shot, didn't he? Cody had that shot at Jake Paul in 8 days. A WWE Hall of Famer is going to knock your brother out.
Yeah, that's it's a shout. It is a shout. Like I
I'm
say,
just.
that
I don't think KSI
it's
will come back. I don't know why they brought Speed in. I don't know why they brought Speed in. Speed makes no sense. I get that he's a
oh, it's another big
he's a butch
YouTuber though,
beaver.
isn't it?
He's an asshole. He's a dumb shit.
Yeah, but it makes it funny, I think, because it
I mean, it does.
matches. It
It is
goes with Logan Paul's character.
his. Yeah, it is funny to see Speed get his ass kicked. I'm not going to lie. But who are they going to bring in next? The Island Boys.
Oh,
Oh,
don't
and
even
speaking of
go
this,
there.
this is completely off topic, but while we're talking about it, you're a football fan. I'm going to say this, and this you'll never get this out of your mind again. You will not unsee this for the life of you. Just hear me out. There is a third island boy, okay, and he plays for Spurs. His name is Richarlison.
Oh, although yeah, it just fits in that whole club's. Doesn't it? It fits in with
But
that club.
you Richarlison, you look at Island Boys, you will never unsee the three of them together. Promise you that.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
But yeah, there's so many angles they could do, being that it's in Saudi, being it's the King of the Queen of the Ring. But I almost guarantee it, and I'm pretty certain that there's going to be some sort of stipulation that Paul can use those knucks and get away with it. Just
It wouldn't
because it was
surprise me.
mentioned so heavily by Cody, it was the first thing he said, that in every fight you have gone for those knucks, and Paul is going to want to make sure that he gets to do that again, especially to stamp it into Cody, because he's saying, "Oh, you say that I use it all the time. I'm going to prove to you that I will."
It's like his sidekick, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
those brass knuckles.
that's
They're like
exactly it.
reliant. They're reliant to him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all know. I mean, you know, they all play that this one punch knockout from Logan Paul, but anybody who's got half a brain knows that Logan Paul has never knocked anyone out in boxing. You know,
Nope.
he got beaten by KSI. He went toe to toe with Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, Floyd Mayweather let you go toe to toe with him. If he went full speed, we know what would happen if he fought properly. But yeah, so I've guarantee actually, I've put money on it that those brass knucks are going to come into play, and it's going to be legal because it's going to be written into the new contract.
Yeah, 100%. Could also see, going back to interferences, this could be the return of Kevin Owens, stopping Logan from using those brass
Oh
knucks.
shit! Yes, I almost forgot about him in this because obviously he hates Logan Paul with a fucking passion, and there's nothing funnier than an angry Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
When Kevin
So,
Owens is on it and he's angry, there is nothing funnier than when he's irate and he's frustrated as fuck.
so there's another spot there because obviously we haven't
Yeah,
seen him
that's true.
since
We haven't. No.
Backlash. So,
Yeah,
was it
that's it. We
Backlash? Yeah.
haven't, and that was what, a month ago now,
So,
3 weeks, a month ago.
interesting, like where he's at, what he's doing, where does he come
Yeah,
back, what does he fit into? Like,
absolutely.
yeah, I don't really know there because
That's a
obviously
good call. I didn't even think about that.
we've not seen any like teases of him showing up or being
No.
somewhere, a spot in the backstage
But that's
or
why it'd be such a bigger surprise, wouldn't it? Right? There's nothing
yeah.
on social
So
media to say that he's been anywhere near it. Nobody has called it out to say, "Oh, so Kevin Owens has spotted at Raw," or "Kevin Owens has been spotted at SmackDown." So you don't know where he is. We're just assuming that he's not been seen, and we don't know anything else.
literally that. So yeah, it's just a very up in the air segment of what are we going to get, where are we going to get, and yeah, what's he going to do?
Exactly that. Exactly
Because
that. It's going to
on the
be.
basis of who, what, where, when, we need to see Uncle Howdy this Friday or Saturday. It has to
Has to be.
happen
Has to
now
be. Or is it going to be Monday Night Raw?
or even Monday. But
I mean, I sent you that video that there was speculation. I don't know how true it is, but that Uncle Howdy was standing in the crowd at Raw, not just gone, but the week before, and the light panned over a figure standing there. It did kind of, from the distance, it looks like Uncle Howdy,
I
and then it
mean,
pans back out.
yeah, I literally went straight onto the comments though. I've seen that, and the top comment was,
Yeah.
"Oh, you found my nan." I
And
was like, I was like,
the home
I
have been
can't
looking for my
unsee
nan
this
for a
now.
week.
I can't unsee it now because I look at the picture and the shot, and I'm like, oh, it just looks like
Someone's nan.
someone's nan now.
Yeah.
But it makes sense if he's to go, or he, I say he, if they are to go to Raw over SmackDown, because if
Yeah.
you put them on SmackDown, you've got two big storylines there in the Bloodline and then the Wyatt Six, whereas Raw doesn't have a big storyline or a big
I mean,
faction that
you've got
are
you've got
overpowering.
Judgment Day, but Judgment Day aren't overpowering. I mean, the
They're
fact is,
they're quite a
yeah,
gimmicky faction. Like, don't yeah,
yeah.
they're at the top of their own
But have you
game,
noticed
but
that they're a gimmicky faction since Big Head came in?
a bit more, yeah. Yeah, I got pointed out something when we go into Raw, but yeah, I got
Okay.
pointed out something
Well, I
in
mean,
a backstage segment that I didn't
okay.
realise.
Well, I mean,
But yeah,
I've
Uncle
covered
Howdy,
everything that I wanted to on
Raw or
SmackDown, but yeah, I
SmackDown,
agree.
Raw or SmackDown. I
Yeah,
want to see him on Raw
Raw would be better suited. I totally understand where you're coming from,
because
but
it
I would
could
also
take
love to
away.
see the Wyatt Six come in and demolish the Bloodline.
Yeah, that's the only way they could do it is go up toe
Yeah,
to toe with the Bloodline
but then
because if they
if
don't,
you've got
and
speculation of Braun Strowman being in the Wyatt Six, Braun Strowman's on Raw. So does it make more sense that they go there and he's setting up for them to come back, which is why he's got some sort of feud with Judgment Day, maybe.
It's a possible angle because there's nothing on SmackDown bar Bloodline
Yeah,
for them to come back into, but because if they don't go after the Bloodline, if they're on SmackDown, then one of those two stories is going to quickly fade out, and
yeah.
we're not going to be bothered about it. And
No, that's it. And they've got to hit
what's
the
the
nail on
point
the
of
head with
building up
it.
the Bloodline like this if you're then going to get it overshadowed by the White Six?
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't
Yeah,
make
because then
sense.
again, how long are they going to string the bloodline out for? I mean, bear in mind they've been stringing it out
I
for
say
already on 3
WrestleMania.
years.
I say WrestleMania
Another year,
because you've obviously got The Rock to come back. You've got Roman to come back, and they're both
mm.
definitely coming back. They're not going to come back and
Yeah, it's just a case of
ignore the
when.
Bloodline
Yeah, it's
or
just a
ignore
case of
each
when
other.
rather than if.
Yeah, you know, Rock.
Yeah.
I think Rock isn't scheduled to come back till I think around Royal Rumble time because of
Well, he's doing film work, isn't he? He's just
all of his
done.
films. He said he was away for a
He's
while
just
anyway.
he's just finished doing Maui, and he's doing that other film at the moment, Smashing Machine.
Yeah,
Um,
so don't think we'll
and
see
then
him
he's
for a
probably got
while.
something lined up. Yeah, yeah.
And then, I'd be interested to see. So I think we're going to start seeing possible little snippets of Roman because they keep mentioning him between Heyman and Solo. Like, Heyman, have you spoke to him? Have you spoke to him? So
Yeah,
we're getting a little build up of we could possibly hear something from Roman soon.
maybe. But what are we
You'd
going to
be
hear? Is it going to be a phone call? Is it going to be a video package? Is it going to? It could
exactly,
be anything, couldn't
but I
it? It could
think
be
you don't keep mentioning him if you're not going to get
no,
something from
no,
him soon
because
enough.
you're
Like,
keeping that seed there.
mm,
We're not going to forget about Roman, but they want to make sure that we're not forgetting about Roman. So they keep planting his name because they
but
know that obviously he's the biggest staple in the bloodline, regardless of whether Solo's running it right now or not.
and the fact that Heyman's always well, now we know that he's been lying, and we still know he hasn't spoke to him
Yeah,
because he's asking other people if they spoke to him. So it's another
exactly.
interesting branch in the Bloodline saga.
Yeah, I'm going to be intrigued to see where that goes. And again, what's Roman going to say when he does come back? Is he going to be happy about Chimichanga and his brother Tongaloa? What's going
Exactly
to
how
happen then?
everything's been handled, and they're not doing things the right way, which they're not.
Yeah,
So, and then obviously going against Jimmy, was that something that Roman would have orchestrated
I mean, yeah, what
in
happens
that
there?
manner?
Because
Still haven't seen Jimmy. When's Jimmy coming back?
no,
That's
we
another
haven't
one.
seen Jimmy since he got his ass handed to him, since his
Right.
brother turned on him.
How are we going to see that again? Like what at what stage
Well,
could that be another possible twist next Friday,
or Saturday.
Saturday? Like
If
just don't know.
if Tama Tonga manages to beat Randy and goes into that final with Gunter, do we see Jimmy appear out of nowhere and fuck it up for Tama and we get King Gunter?
Yeah, there's a lot of branches still with this bloodline. That's why I don't see it ending anytime soon before
But then
WrestleMania.
again, does Jimmy get traded to Raw and reconnect the Usos? I mean, there's multiple ways it can go, and
There's
we've said it countless times.
the unexpected
This
is
is why I
great at the
love. This is
moment.
why I love it at the moment. Yeah, this is why I love wrestling again because there are
There's
so many different angles that you can't pinpoint. There's so many little links in the chain that can connect every chain together to make a whole new, a whole new link and push forward. And whereas before it was like, oh, well, we know exactly what's going to happen. Whereas now it's just a case of, okay, I can speculate this, I can speculate that, and oh shit, I didn't see that coming.
exactly There's
Yeah,
that's why it's just we're always kept on our toes with a lot of different possibilities. Yeah,
yeah,
you've
yeah,
got some predictable start like bits, but that's just the world of pro wrestling. There's
yeah.
always going to be a predictable stage, but you're always the bits underneath these little bits
Speaking
they
of
dangle out.
unpredictability, I want to move over to Raw if you're happy to do so.
Let's go,
Um,
Raw Dog.
Unpredictability. I didn't see him coming out to help them, but I knew it was going to happen at some point that he was going to go after Big Head. But obviously, Awesome Truth retain against the Judgment Day. I honestly didn't see that happening just purely because they are a gimmick team. We all know they're a gimmick team. I
Yeah.
didn't think they'd extend the run this long. But then also, I don't want to see Finn and JD with the championships. I'd rather see Finn and Dom with the championships. But Dom's obviously out at the moment.
Yeah, because yeah, that was pretty funny. Do you know what the funniest bit is though? Like that whole running was watching a big guy like Braun Strowman actually try and run, and
Yeah,
then also JD trying to keep that big head up while he's running. It
he's
was
like
it
a
was great.
bobblehead, isn't he?
It was brilliant. But if you go back to a segment, obviously, our truth said
Oh,
that
here you go. This is what you're going to talk about. I guess is it what you was
no, no,
was
no.
pointed
This is
out
a
to you?
this is a
No.
different one.
Okay.
This
Right.
is
Okay.
go back. Our truth, obviously, in a little segment said that he'd got things sorted for later. He's got something up his sleeve, basically.
Okay.
Like, and then that coming through it was obviously he's
Yeah.
been talking to Braun, however you wanna say it, English to
Brawn.
American.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then all of a sudden, the big man appears. It gets more and more likely though, week in week out. I don't think he's going to be part of this Wyatt Six. I think he's
No.
going on his
I
own.
I want to know what angle they're going with him for though, because obviously when they had him there originally, he was in the Wyatt family. Then it became this monster that was on his own. He had a fight with Bray. He won a Universal Championship against Goldberg, etc. He did this, that, and the other. And now, since he's come back, he had some time in the ring, and he's lost. Like I said to you before, he lost that monster status
Mm.
because he was being beaten by guys that he necessarily would have been beaten by. And then he gets given these red pants. I mean, why the red?
Yeah, it went downhill for him, but then that's Vince for you. But now I feel like he's come back. He looks the angry man again. He looks the
Yeah.
monster. He
And
looks
that's
like
what I want to see from him. I mean, the way that he launched Carlito into that barricade was
yeah.
fantastic.
Because
I love
if you
that.
look back at like the Big Show, right?
Yeah,
He had his little gimmicky parts and his soft spots, but when it come down to walking out that Titantron, he was a man to be feared because
yeah,
he was a
yeah,
monster.
absolutely.
Whereas, like you're seeing this with Braun, obviously backstage he's just being himself. He's being a
Yeah,
nice guy, but
but he's still a
it
guy who
comes
kicks
out,
ass.
and then everyone's like, "Oh God, oh no!" And we saw
Yeah,
it on Monday when he just come through and started trying to demolish everyone within his sight.
I love R-Truth hitting John Cena spots as well. By the way, I
It's
love
it's
him hitting the
fucking
five
great.
knuckle shuffle and the attitude adjustment.
It's great, and it works well with Miz doing it as well. To be honest, when they
Yeah.
do it, and as Pat
Well, they
called it,
did
the
the
ten
double
knuckle
five knuckle
shuffle.
shuffle, right? Yeah, the 10 knuckle shuffle, exactly. And I think that's great, especially considering the history between the Miz and John Cena.
That's
The
what I was
history,
going to say.
they've
That
hated each other. Yeah, exactly.
there's reasons for that it can happen, and it's not
Yeah,
just oh I'm going to use it. Whereas obviously, it's our truth's like favorite ever like
yeah.
hero. It's his hero. It's his real life hero, John Cena,
I know.
and
Yeah, I know he
obviously
is. He's opened up about it several times that he absolutely
Miz
idolizes Cena.
Miz and
Yeah,
Cena have had their like obviously pasts with their
yeah,
rivalries and etc. So they've both got histories,
yeah,
and yeah, it just pays homage to a
yeah.
goat
Exactly.
of
And I
WWE.
love
Like
that. I love seeing our truth hitting AA. I just
it's
think
all
it's
of it,
great.
isn't it? And then
But
the STF and
yeah,
everything.
but can we? I really want to bring it back to go to the FU. That's what I want to
Oh,
see.
I
I want
know.
to see the AA being called the FU again, and
And the
instead of the
STFU.
STF, the STFU,
It
because
just
that's what
it
it was.
really
Because the
annoys me.
FU, because the FU was John Cena's answer to Brock's F5. That's where
Yeah.
it came from. That's where it started, and that's why it was called the FU, because that's how he started. It was this is my big fuck you to Brock Lesnar and his F5. Um, so yeah, I definitely want to see that coming back to being called the FU, the STFU. I
I
think
hope
that
it
would just be
does.
brilliant. I hope
Just
so, especially as
uh,
we're shifting out of that PG era.
yeah, big time. So yeah,
Mm.
I really do hope we get some of these beeped, like blacked
Yeah,
out names come back and actually bring
that's
it
it.
back to what it originally was.
Yeah, because the one thing that I'm not liking at the moment that happens sometimes is that the screen goes black and gets beeped out momentarily because somebody said or done something that they perhaps shouldn't have done.
Yeah, they're still a bit touchy on some of that. I
Yeah,
think
and I can understand that being on like USA or ESPN when it goes
that's
to
what I think it
Netflix. I
is,
think
certain
yeah,
networks,
I
but
think so.
you can tell that it doesn't do it when it's a PLE because
Yeah,
there's no restrictions
there's
to
no.
that. But
Well,
when it comes
there's
to
not going to
certain
be, is there? Because
networks,
you can stream it live from WWE, and I think WWE have
yeah,
got to the point now where they're like, well, we don't care.
no,
We want to go
they
with
know
this
where it's
because it's
going.
working. Yeah, exactly. They know where they're headed.
So
They know Netflix is, and I said this to you before, Netflix is the channel 4 of the streaming world. Channel 4 was that channel that was set up to combat the BBC and, not give a shit. And that's what Netflix are doing. Netflix are like, yeah, come over to us. We'll let you call everybody by any name you want. And we're not going to filter it at all. And, we're going to look at it and go, if you don't like it, scroll on.
yeah, they will let anything go. And I think
Yeah.
that's the best thing that could happen in wrestling because it gives you a lot more control over what you can
Yeah,
and
yeah,
can't do in
absolutely.
that asset rather than on networks. You've got to follow so many rules.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah,
this
it's
is the thing,
just,
and they're gonna worry about ratings on networks. Your networks are gonna have meetings with networks every week with Triple H going, okay, well you're up by 100,000 this week. Last week you were down by 200,000. You changed this and it went back up. So this is what we want you to do. Netflix is gonna go, you do what you want to do, and that's the great thing. They're gonna have full control. WWE, they're gonna have full control because Netflix aren't going to go, well, we want you to hit a certain target. Netflix going, we know you're going to hit a certain target. We just
yeah,
want you to elevate it from there.
that's exactly what they're going to do because to Netflix, it's all about subscribers,
Yeah,
whereas obviously network channels, it's all about viewer ratings.
yeah,
So
absolutely. And then you got the likes of like, buddy, I don't know what the equivalent is in America, but obviously over here you got Ofcom, and Ofcom are the people that everybody complain to if they hear something on the British telly. Oh,
yeah,
somebody's just called so and so a tit. That's offensive
yeah.
to a bird. Shut up. But
So yeah,
onto the
the
next.
Americans. But
Yeah.
sorry, I'm going to go to the segment
No,
going
no, no.
back
You go for
to
it. Go for it.
Judgment Day, the
Yes.
backstage
Okay. I
part
want to hear this.
where they're in this clubhouse that clearly is
Right.
just not a clubhouse and just
Yeah.
clearly the corner of the room that no one wants to go to. But yeah, we'll settle with that. They're playing darts again with five darts, which is just. I'm not going to go into it, but
Okay.
yeah, that's not how you play darts with
No,
five
it's not.
darts. But yeah, we get to the segment. Obviously, they're in the clubhouse, and then you've got JD and Finn, Dom, all standing there chuckling, and then obviously Priest comes out to obviously say good luck, blah blah blah. Then Carlito's there,
Yeah.
and obviously Dom's not happy. Sorry, Damien's not happy that Carlito's there. He's like,
Okay.
What are you doing in my clubhouse?" And then Dom's backing up Carlito, saying, "Oh yeah, obviously look what he done for the guys last week. Like he can stay." And then Damien was like, "Okay, this week," and then tells Carlito the only way you keep this up is you have to pay your debts.
Yeah.
So if you want protection, you obviously got to keep up with payments, which is quite interesting because obviously he's hiding from the LWO and Ray.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's an interesting spot there because Carlito constantly kept throwing little jives towards Damien's leadership again.
Right.
And now he's got Dom on his side. And obviously he's helped JD, he's helped Finn
Fitting. Yeah.
get to this match. Obviously Damien's not been about. So
No.
it's sort of he's testing. But there was a little part of this segment that I got pointed out and I didn't realise until I watched it back. When Finn spoke to Damien and obviously
Okay.
said, "Oh, I wish it was you out there, big man, but I know what you're doing. Why it can't be you." And as they panned out, just in the background was the demon, Finn's demon.
Which he doesn't bring out anymore.
No,
And he
and I
said the
was like,
reason that
okay, is that a little Easter egg that has just appeared? It was like
maybe.
yeah, like sat as like an ornament, or not an ornament, but it was sat at the front on the top of
Okay.
like a shelf. So it was there for us to
They
see.
panned out, yeah, they panned out purposely for you to see it. Yeah, I get
And
what
it
you
was,
mean. It's
yeah,
a bit like the whole situation with Liv coming down with Dom's bandana in her jean pocket in the shorts. You know, it's there for
yeah,
you to
there's
see if you
another.
look real hard. Yeah,
And yeah, I just thought, so he's wishing that obviously he's with Damien, but at the same
yeah.
time, he's again questioning certain aspects as to, okay, it obviously can't be you, but thinking in his head, well, it can
But
because
I
you can
mean,
still be a double champ, but
this is
and then
what I
all of a
said to you
sudden,
before, though. If you remember, Finn, it's got to be hard for Finn if you look at it that way, because Finn took over from Edge. It was Finn's idea to get Edge out of the Judgment Day, and he took it running from there. Then Rhea's taken over. Now Mummy's gone, and now Damien's taken over. So that's, Finn's had to take that back seat, and then there was that altercation at Backlash where he didn't throw Finn, he threw JD McDonough, but he got in
but
Finn's
he
face and was like,
got
"I need
Finn
your help."
round the chin, didn't he? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
got in his face, and there's
But
been
there's
little
there's there's
little
there's cracks in that structure.
pushes of like Finn showing little like signs of being
Yeah,
jealous, and he's not happy that Damien's holding that belt above him
yeah.
or next to him.
It's the
It's
only one that
interesting.
Finn hasn't held.
So I would love. I feel there's going to be. It's going to keep going that way, and yeah, I can see it all crumbling and Damien being at the bottom of that pile soon,
Yeah.
sooner rather than later.
I mean, how does that work in your mind? If Carlito manages to plant the seeds, and it grows, and Damien leaves, who
Just
who then steps up? Do you,
little like little crumbs that Carlito's just
yeah,
dashing around to
chipping
get
away at
the
the cracks, isn't he?
get the others on
You
his
can see the
side,
cracks there,
test the
and he's
resolve.
just chipping away. Yeah,
But he's going to be doing more for the guys rather than what Damien's doing at the moment. So he's getting there. He's building their trust more and more,
yeah,
leading into a part when Damien's up against it in a match, and the guys don't appear, or
yeah.
they come down, but they don't help him and they distract him more, and he
They just
loses the
stand and
title.
watch.
And
But where does that happen? That's got to be Clash of the Castle, I think. Surely
Bash,
Bash at Berlin. Do you reckon? Oh,
Gunther,
Gunther.
Gunther is winning hands down. Gunther is the man to beat in WWE right now. You
When
can't
you
say
said
he's
it
not.
was,
He's the guy.
no, he's. I'm not. I can't say he's not. No, but at the same time, you got to look at the other hype surrounding the other guys. It could be Jey Uso. I mean, obviously, he's just beaten Jey Uso. Um,
He's
but
just
it
choked him
could
out.
quite easily be, yeah, it could quite easily be Jey Uso with the hype around him. But I get what you're saying. Gunther, performance-wise, is always bringing his A game. He's fantastic. He's a very imposing character. His in-ring ability, I think, is great. And yeah, I mean, I'd love to see him. I'd love to see in Saudi on Saturday him and Randy Orton. I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be him and Chimichanga, but I would love to see him and Randy Orton because I think that would make for a hell of a fight.
Oh, that would be an absolute star-studded
Yeah,
fight.
exactly. And I
100%.
think that's why I'd love to see it because they put on one hell of a show between the two of them, and to do it at a PLE. Okay, it's not the biggest PLE, but to put it on at a PLE nonetheless, because it's the one PLE or one of the only PLEs that are going to come where the two brands merge again for the night to go against each other. It would be great to see Orton
But
take
it
on
is, but
Gunther.
then you say, but then it is for, like, there is something to win at the end of the fight, though,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
adds to
Yeah,
what that match could be in itself. But
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
I honestly think Gunther is winning it. And again, there was someone, like, I was reading into it, like, obviously the people that catching on to these little parts, but the way Gunther's winning each week, he's winning differently. He's not
Yeah,
he's not winning the same every way. He's every
he's not doing his signature power bomb and then doing the roll and just
no,
folding them in
it
half.
is,
He's winning by submissions, and it's
but different
different submissions as
submissions.
well.
This is what they were pointing out, and I was just and that. But because obviously when you just see him pure dominating,
Yeah,
you don't notice it as much. You just see the dominance of Gunter. Oh, there goes one. There goes
yeah.
one. There goes one. But at the same time, though, the way he's winning with these submissions, which I noticed, he's picking up on where he's injured someone, and he's constantly aiming the
Oh
submission at
yeah,
that body
he's
part.
very calculated. Yeah, like with Jey Uso,
Like,
he targeted that right arm,
and obviously
and as soon
Xavier
as he got him
Woods,
in,
it was the
yeah,
knee straight away. Sheamus, it was the knee.
exactly.
Like, he knows the injury, and he'll go at it. Whereas normally when you see someone's injured, they'll like the opponent will target it for a couple of minutes and then they'll forget about
Yeah,
it. But Gunter's so precise, it's so
yeah,
planned out in his head. Like
yeah.
from
He's
what we see,
completely calculating it. He's seeing it and he's working it right to the very end, and that's the
and
best
to
way to
beat
do
Jey
it.
Uso by just choking him out completely,
Yeah,
I mean that was unexpected because you were expecting a tighter contest
but
in
I
towards the
like
end.
that.
Oh
I
yeah,
like that because Jay hasn't tapped out. So that still maintains the toughness of Jey Uso as well. Is that he got choked out, he went to sleep, but he didn't tap. So he's got that. Well, I didn't ever give up. You never made me quit. So that's got that tie in there against Gunter as well. Because although Gunter's beat Jay for the Intercontinental Championship previously, Jay's now on another level. And although he's lost, he hasn't
again,
physically tapped. Yeah, he hasn't physically tapped to it. And this
no,
again, this is what I was saying about LA Knight. Where do you go with Jay? Jay's been
exactly.
propelled up to have that championship match with Gunter. Then he had the championship match with Damien, and now now he's been kicked out of King of the Ring.
What
Where does he
happens?
go from here? He's on,
Because he's supposedly at the top of his game. He's main
yeah,
event Jey
he's
Uso,
main event Jey Uso. Yeah,
but yet he's losing his matches. He's losing
he's
the
losing main
important matches
events.
all the time.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
what is going wrong? Like why? Like we want to know why is he being pushed
Mhm.
up as this main eventer,
Exactly. Yeah,
but yeah, he doesn't win. You
mid
can't call
card
someone a
Jey
main
Uso
event.
doesn't have the same ring. Doesn't have the same ring to it.
Exactly, you can't call someone a main eventer, but
No.
yeah, they just lose all the time. What's the
Yeah.
fun in that?
Yeah. Exactly. So
But
it's going to
I
be
can't
interesting to see
see
where he goes.
because he's got no pure rivalry on Raw, has he?
No.
There's no
No.
there's no one that irks him or he's the lovable guy. Everyone loves him.
Everyone loves him. He loves everybody. He's down with everybody unless you cross him, and nobody's going to cross him because Gunter, although Gunter's beaten him twice now, I think Gunter has got enough respect for him because of the
But
clashes they've had. He's seen what he's capable
Gunter
of.
don't go back though, does he? If you know what I mean,
No,
he
he
don't.
doesn't. He always
He'll
goes forward. He
only
never looks in that rearview mirror.
he'll only use the words of beating him twice if they come up face to
Yeah,
face again. He won't.
yeah, exactly.
He won't put a segment to say to go at
No,
someone for no reason.
he
It's
doesn't.
like I
He doesn't
say,
need to. This is the thing. He's got someone in. He's got an end goal in mind, and anybody that's in that way that he's not been through yet, he's gonna go for them. But he's not targeting them personally. It's just a case of, well, you're in my way,
yeah.
and I'm gonna
But,
steamroll through you. And most of the time, that's what he does.
but yeah, King of the Ring General. How about that
I
one?
think just King. I just think King General sounds better rather than the Ring General. The King General. King of the Ring
Like,
General is just. I mean, I get it. It's got a ring to it, but King General makes for me is got that it just sounds better.
he's just the complete package at the moment. Like
Yeah,
on that
yeah,
front where he's dominant in the ring. He's wrestling every week. He's winning the big fights. He knows what he's
yeah.
doing. He's so calculated. He's not making mistakes. Like he's just
And if you
so.
notice his last couple of matches, he's done it without Ludwig there. So he's
Yep.
also showing that he doesn't need Ludwig and
Don't need
Vinci.
no one.
Yeah, he doesn't need anybody to do it. They just happen to be there from time to time, but he doesn't actually need them to do it.
So yeah, he's. For me, he is the man at the moment. He is the most.
Yeah,
He's the man to beat. If you get that win on your
definitely on
CV
Raw.
while he's
Yeah,
hot,
yeah, exactly. Definitely on Raw. From a Raw, if you look at the perspective of Raw as a brand, Gunter is, in my mind, McIntyre. I'll take out the equation at the moment because he's injured. But if you
yeah,
look at the people that are active, Gunter's up there most definitely. I think it's Gunter and Drew are the top two in Raw right now. and I think they're the ones that I want to see clash for a championship. I think that would be fantastic. I mean, they've put on a hell of a match between each other before.
Yeah. And
But
to do
yeah,
it
I like you
for,
say,
and do you know what else as well? Sorry, just going back into that match between Jay and Gunther, those chops, that sound was a joke.
did you see his chest, his lower sternum when he got choked out, just bruised
Honestly,
and red and
like
dude,
those chops. Oh my god! Honestly,
yeah.
like the sound of that slap.
Um,
It's like hearing a 50-stone guy belly
yeah,
flop into the ocean. It is that loud.
it's
It's mental.
thunderous, isn't it? Yeah, it's absolutely thunderous. He's got some power to those chops, and I definitely don't envy anybody on the receiving end of them. I would not like to take one, let alone 5 or 10.
Exactly, man. Oh, they're so pure though.
I
Like
know.
it's like
That's what I love about
perfect clap
Gunther.
on a high five, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly
Like
that. Yeah, it's
he
oddly
does not
satisfying, but
miss.
it's scary.
He
Yeah, I
does
mean, I
not
saw
miss.
Jey Uso's chest when he rolled off of him, when the bell rang, and Gunther rolled off of Jay and pushed him, so you could just see just under his rib tattoo, right on the center of his stomach, or just at the bottom of his sternum, you could see the bruising and the blood that he'd drawn
Instant,
from
isn't
those
it?
chops. Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And when he does it to Sheamus, it's definitely instant because Sheamus is so pale
Yeah.
that redness shows tenfold.
It's crazy. Yeah, Sheamus always
Yeah.
posts the pictures, doesn't he?
Oh god, yeah, it's crazy. And speaking of crazy, Braun Breaker, man has gone psycho because he is so unhappy that
Or as I
Adam
called
Pearce
him,
didn't put him in the King of Ring.
Bron the Breaker of Men. Jesus
Braun the
Christ,
Breaker of Men. Oh.
he sent that jobber back to the job centre. That guy is never going to set
I
foot in a wrestling ring
don't
again.
think it. No, I don't think so. And if he
That
does, he's a braver man
spear,
than most.
that spear was he
It's the
folded in half.
acceleration he gets.
But only for it was only he weren't even that far away from him, and he
No,
literally caught him perfect, and he literally folded in half like a
but it's the
sandwich.
acceleration he gets. He's so fast off the ropes.
He
A man
snapped,
that size, yeah, he just completely snapped. And like you said, he sent him back packing. He may never wrestle again just out of choice,
and he
not
was so
injury, but just out of
angry at not
choice.
being because he said it,
Yeah,
didn't he? I'm like not
he said
happy,
to
not
Adam,
in King of the Ring.
yeah, he said, you didn't put me in King of the Ring. This is
You
on
can't
you. And
control
then,
me.
of course, we had the backstage segment after with Ilya
Oh, it,
Dragunov and Ricochet. And out of nowhere, he just takes Ricochet out through the bloody cases.
like Jesus Christ, like literally, you can't stop
No,
him. But
and he said to Pierce, "You can't control
what
me."
are we going? Where are we going with it though? What we need something big to happen with it.
Yeah,
You
there
can't
should be
keep
something
having
big.
these
I mean,
5-second matches.
no,
It's
Ricochet.
not.
I think it'll be a match between Ricochet and Braun next week on Raw. I think that needs to happen after what he's done to him.
Yeah.
It'll be longer. It'll be
If
longer than
he's
5 seconds if he's up to doing it. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
if he's in a state
That'll be
that's
his.
fit.
Yeah, I think that'll be his longest match to date on Raw, and it'll be a good match. You've got a high flyer that's quick. You've got a power man that's stupidly just as quick. Funnily enough.
And whose
Um,
fuse is gone.
Yeah, he's got no fuse anymore. Let's face it. It takes it, but that goes back. They're gonna the one thing that he wanted when he started wrestling and when he got into the WWE is I don't want to be compared to my dad or my uncle.
No, yeah, he
Obviously,
wants his
he's got
own
a hugely
legacy.
famous family in the Steiner brothers, but he's going to be known as very similar to his dad and his uncle now because of that short fuse. Big Papa Pump always had a short fuse. The
Yeah,
Gremlin always had a short fuse.
I mean, there's certain aspects though of a character. If you've got it, you've got
Yeah.
to use it. And
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah, you've got
fuse,
to utilize it, of course.
that
Yeah.
anger
I
part,
mean,
it works well with him because he's such a big guy, so he can just
yeah,
do a lot of stuff.
exactly. And I really wish with him like this, I really wish him and Corbin were back together as a tag team in Raw
Yeah.
or SmackDown because they'd be great. The Wild Dogs or the
Going
Wild
for
or
some
the
that'd
Wolf
be great
Dogs
first,
would be
a great
great.
title to pick up on the big
Yeah,
brands. Like,
absolutely, exactly. And with Braun and with Corbin being like the nice, relaxed dude, you know, he's the jujitsu dude, but will still kick your ass. And Braun being the wild man, it's like they've got to counteract each other. And Corbin would do quite well to try and cage Braun for a little while, and then all of a sudden he'd probably, you know, like when you watch a film. Have
yeah,
you ever seen Bad Boys?
yeah,
There's a scene in Bad Boys where Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, and Martin Lawrence says he's calm right now. You don't want to see him pissed off. That's what it'd be like. And Corbin would probably turn around to someone and say, "You fucked up. I tried to hold him back, but now you're going to deal with him."
Yeah,
But yeah, it's going to be
it's
interesting
there,
to see where he goes.
but yeah, we've got to see something else out of it because
I want to
my
see
word,
him get
like
pushed. Yeah, I want to see him push for the IC championship. And that's again, and that's interesting now. After I want to talk about that in a moment once we finish talking about Braun. But I love him. I love Braun, and I think he can work it really well.
yeah,
It's
there
just a
is
case of
there's
which direction do you go.
again, it's another one you've got to start to get him in these matches quick
Yeah,
because again, his character could go instantly stale and we could lose him. Like he
yeah.
could get lost. He could be in
And we don't
like
want a Goldberg character either, because people have seen that before. They didn't like Goldberg for it. I mean, Goldberg was known in his older days of being quite stiff and working quite hard with people. Um, but now that he's like one of the nicest guys in the world, and I think, but Braun could be easily that if they keep giving him this undefeated streak of like, we're going to go for this massive undefeated streak. Eventually, it's going to become, oh, well, he's just been given these jobbers. He hasn't been given any big names. I want to see Bron Breakker against Bronson Reed.
ooh, could you imagine him folding him in half like a deck chair?
Oh, I can imagine Bronson going up top, coming down for that tsunami. Breaker rolls out of the way, and as soon as he's up, he hits that rope at just trajectory that you are not even going to expect, and he just takes him in half. But
Spears
either
him
way, I think they'd put on a
onto the
good match.
ropes
Both two
and
big,
snaps
strong
it.
guys. Yeah, I think it'd be a hell of a match. I may be wrong. It might just be me that wants to see it. You never know. I could be the only person in the world that wants to see it, but I
I think
personally would love to see it.
I think Bron could be like what early Brock Lesnar was.
Yeah, I think so. If they play it right, and it's a
I'd rather
shame they
see
don't have
that.
somebody else like Paul Heyman to put with Braun as a manager and say,
Yeah,
okay, like we see your talent, we're gonna in the as a as a storyline, we're gonna put you with this manager that sees your talent and he's gonna skyrocket you.
it is a shame. Yeah, that obviously there's only one Heyman. Can't split him in half.
You're never gonna have. I mean, Paul Heyman today is the Bobby Heenan of the 80s and 90s. Paul Heyman's an absolute legend. Bobby the Brain Heenan was the same back then. There was, he was one of the best managers there, both on genius level. Paul Heyman is a wrestling god. I've said this many times. I'll get it tattooed if I have to. Um, but yeah, I think there's it's a shame that there is nobody that could sync with him, because I think that could work well. But then again, at the moment, there's no solid storyline to warrant that at the moment.
No, I think until he starts getting championship matches,
Yeah,
there's no need to put anyone by his side.
I think so.
Just let him break a few
Yeah,
more people and annoy a few more people, and then yeah, we'll see
yeah,
where we'll get off. But yeah, I want to
exactly.
see him start getting into more intense, better matches quicker, and
Yeah,
hopefully, like you say, this Ricochet match will be the one to start pushing him
hopefully, yeah,
into
I
better
hope so,
things.
because Ricochet is immensely talented.
Oh yeah, I like
Um,
Ricochet. I think
he's
he's
not
got a
afraid to
good
put
package
people
about him.
over. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Oh well, bet you've seen that package before, haven't you?
Oi
Tonight's
oi
wedding.
oi
Oi,
oi.
oi. Ricochet and his package. Um, but yeah, I think so. I think if they do that match, if Ricochet is not injured, I think then he calls him out early Monday night, and there's a fight put together. Adam
Maybe
Pearce
even
would say, yeah,
Dragunov
you've got him.
is a bit annoyed
Maybe,
that he took the spotlight from his interview. He's injured
maybe.
Ricochet. Maybe
Well, bear in
Dragunov's
mind,
like,
was it?
I'm coming for you.
I may be totally wrong, and forgive me, I am. But wasn't it Dragunov that took the NXT title from Breaker in the first place? So if that's the case, then there's still history there anyway, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So that could be another part of the angle of having him enter that segment.
Another twig added to the branch that is
This is
ever
what I mean.
growing.
Yeah, there's a lot there. So yeah, I'm
The
interested
other,
to see where this can go.
I'm interested, yeah. And the other big guy that I want to talk about, and I know you want to talk about him. You haven't mentioned him yet, but I know that you'll be happy to talk about him. Otis. Why, Otis? Why are you not standing up to this piddly little shit?
And it's interesting. It went from one extreme to the other with Otis, didn't it, throughout the whole night?
Well, yeah, I mean, you had that
So
first segment where he
obviously,
came out in his gold bathrobe, and he said, "Maxine, you should be in Queen of the Ring. You're a failure. Tozawa, you put 0% of power against Bronson Reed. You're a failure. And Otis, you're the biggest failure of all." And then continues to slap him again.
yeah, that was a slap and a half on it again. But
Yeah,
it was that match, like Chad Gable as well. He's fully lost the plot. Like he has
yeah,
just absolutely gone
yeah. He
from
has.
just being a nice guy
Yeah,
to now he's so yeah. He's like obviously when you had Tozawa and Maxine on that part where she was ready to slap Sammy, but she was like, "I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it."
no,
And you got Tozawa in the
she hasn't
background
got it in
going,
her.
"No, no."
No,
And then
but that's what
Chad's like,
surprised me with
"What are you
Otis.
doing? What are you doing?" And then he just sent them away, sent them
Yeah,
home.
but that's why it surprised me with Otis when Otis got Sammy in that corner and hit him with that big lariat to set up the chaos theory with Gable, and you could see on Otis's face he was like, "Shit, what have I done?" But at the same time, you're thinking, "Well, you knew he was going to do it." But this is what we want for Otis. The whole crowd were singing, "Free Otis," and
Yeah,
there was
all
signs
the
in.
signs,
Yeah, exactly. I saw the signs, "Free Otis" and stuff like this. And Otis is a lovable guy. I mean, look at the run he had with Mandy Rose years ago. Everybody was rooting for Mandy Rose to be his girlfriend, and he kept trying to swing towards it, and then it happened, and everyone was so happy for him. But he's had the biggest drop, hasn't he? He's gone from Money in the Bank winner all the way down to Chad Gable's
bitch.
lackey. Yeah,
But then you had the segment after where obviously Sammy's in the locker room pissed off, and then
yeah,
obviously Bronson confronts him, says, "You need to be more worried about me than anyone
yeah,
else."
yeah,
He turns round, and then Otis is there staring in his face, and he's come to apologise.
yeah.
So
I know. I
Otis
think
knows
Otis is conflicted, and this is what I said to you last week. Otis is
because
conflicted.
last
Chad
week
Gable's
Sammy
his
saved
friend.
him,
Yeah,
and then obviously Otis has remembered that, but he's
returned the favour, just in
only
a different
done
manner.
what he had to do at that
Yeah,
moment,
yeah,
and he feels really bad for it. So now he's gone and apologised. So where is
but
Otis going? Because there was another part where obviously Chad Gable was talking to the Creed brothers. So is
yeah.
he recruiting them into the Alpha Academy? Because
I think they're a great team to recruit.
he knows that they'll do that. They'll get the job done to certain,
Yeah,
and
yeah, maybe.
they're sort of
But
similar
then,
styles to how he wrestles. So
yeah, exactly. But then, where do you go with Otis if once Alpha Academy is broken up? Maxine's okay. She's got a tag team partner. She's got some
but
time in the
where
women's
does
division.
Tozawa go as well?
Where does Cesaro go exactly? Cesaro, I would see dropping back down to NXT. I think they would
Yeah, Otis
sign
could
him over
probably
to
do the
NXT.
same.
Yeah, maybe they could go down as a tag team together over at NXT, or maybe they go for a singles run. But yeah, I mean, Gable, the title, you'll like this. The title on my phone for my notes for this is Unstable Gable. That's
I
that's
like
what I
it.
wrote in my notes was Unstable Gable, because right now he is completely unhinged. He has lost the plot.
Yeah, I don't think he knows where he's going.
No,
He's just like he's one of those where momentum's just took him
yeah,
to a place where he is so lost, but yet
yeah.
everything feels so right in what he's doing.
Well, I mean, he's fixated on that IC championship, isn't it? And I don't think it's a personal vendetta against Sammy. I think even if it was somebody else that had done it and beat Gunther, I think he's more annoyed with Sammy because he trained Sammy, and he's like,
Yeah.
well, Sammy beat him and I didn't. I get that, but I think he would eventually, that turn was coming anyway, because he's like, well, I've not had a singles championship. I've been here years. Yeah, I've been tag team champion, but it's my time.
Yeah, but it's not the same. He's got that singles run in him.
Yeah, he
He's
does.
not just
He
the
does.
tag team. He's not just the tag team run. That's it.
No. Well,
He's
this is
got
what we
us.
said. Gable could be everything Angle was, and we don't want another Angle. You'll never replicate that or duplicate it. But
No,
you've got that bona fide star with the skill, the power. He's getting better on the mic. I've never really liked him on the mic, but he's getting better on the mic. You can tell that he's genuinely enjoying the part that he's playing right now.
Yeah.
So it's a great time to give him that push. I'm not saying give him a championship necessarily, but I've got a sneaking suspicion. I'm going to call it now. I've got a sneaking suspicion that Otis is going to get somehow involved in this triple threat, and it's going to cost Gable, and that's going to be the implosion of Alpha Academy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the act that it's there, the seeds planted
Yeah,
when he's gone to apologise to
exactly.
Sammy. So
Yeah,
obviously he's gone against Gable. He's not told him. He's obviously not told him he's been there or
yeah,
going there. So
exactly. I think what's going to happen is, my opinion is Otis is going to try and get involved to help Gable, but it's going to backfire, and
and
then
he's going to
Gable's
help
going to
Sammy retain
Otis. Yeah,
because
and then
obviously
on the
Gable
Monday
put
night following,
yeah that
I
could
think
be it.
Gable's going to call out Otis. He's going to slap him again. The crowd are going to cheer, and Otis is just going to have this. You're fucked. You just slapped the biggest man you don't want to slap.
He's
Kind
had
of look
enough. Yeah,
about him.
the third
Yeah,
slap, and that's it. It's just
that's it. Third
he's
time's the
boiled
charm.
now.
You're done.
Like them that steams out the ears. That's it. You're getting
Yeah,
rolled, mate.
that's exactly right. Um, on that point, with regards to the weekend, obviously now Friday night we've got Queen Bee, potentially Queen Bee, going up against Nia, and we're going to see Valkyria
Yeah,
in the
I was
final.
very shocked by that. That
I
was
didn't
very
expect that. I mean,
unexpected.
good push, good choice.
Well,
I
I mean,
think
you
great
see
choice,
week in,
especially.
week out that she's been talking to the bigger stars, obviously
Yeah,
with Becky and Liv,
yeah, absolutely.
having their own little spat with Liv as well, obviously
Yeah,
being Becky's aide, but I still did not see her winning that match.
no, I didn't expect it, and I think Io Sky, they could have kept momentum going with Io Sky. Yes, she recently lost the title to Bailey, but they could have given her some momentum back to win that final, even if she ended up losing in the final, or even if she ended up losing in the final, but give her
Mm.
that semi, Valkyria then would have been great. She got through the quarterfinal, she made it to the semi. Great start to her life at Raw.
But
Could have gone
now,
from there. So it was a surprise, but I'm pleased. It's a good surprise.
but then that
It's a
leads
good
me to
surprise.
believe if she is to win this Queen of the Ring, she then faces Becky for that title.
Yeah, and
Or she could
I
face
would.
Liv, actually, to be fair,
She
because
could face Liv. I mean, you got to bear in mind she's been helping Becky. She respects Becky, the fellow Irish women. So she respects Becky. She's seen Becky. She's looked up to her. Whereas Liv has turned on Becky. She's calling Becky out week in, week out. She's already said now, I'm going to be, I'm
and
going to
she's
be the
going
champion.
after Valkyria as well with her
Yeah,
just a little
exactly,
mini segments. Like obviously, you see her attack, like slap her backstage.
exactly. And
She
I
went and
don't think this has
slapped
been said.
her,
I might be wrong. So Liv a couple of years ago obviously defeated Ronda Rousey. She cashed in Money in the Bank to win the Women's SmackDown Championship, which is obviously the equivalent to the undisputed Women's Champion that Bailey now holds. The
mm,
Women's WWE Championship. Liv's also been the Tag Team Champion. So if she did beat Becky this weekend to win the Women's World Championship, she's technically Grand Slam.
yeah, she won it all. Interesting. I think she walks out of King and Queen as champ. She's just, she's
It's a
like,
tough one. It's a tough one because she said on Monday, she said, "Do you want to know what happens at the end of the revenge tour? I walk out the world champion." I don't think the revenge tour is done yet.
mm,
So I'm undecided because like I said to you previously, I think they're going to lengthen out the revenge tour a bit more. I think
yeah, but then
Becky
Rhea's got to
wins
win
the,
that back though, and then Liv's
yeah,
got to beat Rhea. I don't see
but
her
that's
waiting that long
no, maybe not. Maybe she does win,
because I don't know
or
how
I
long
don't
Rhea's
know.
out for. Like, it's just she's out
She's
indefinitely,
out.
so
I mean, she's out indefinitely injured, but yet she's loving it. She's lapping it up on the beach right now with her dog and Buddy, isn't it? I think she's taking time off for marriage, isn't she? Isn't it to get married or something?
I've
Is
heard
actually the reason.
many
There's a
rumours,
lot of
but
different stories. Yeah,
so yeah, I don't know. I want to see a walkout champ. I think it needs a shake up at the moment because
I think so.
I
I
like
think so.
Becky, but I think the championship itself just needs a shake up with
Well, we said this before, didn't we? Becky was the
Rhea
safe
Ripley won it.
option.
Like when
Yeah,
Rhea won it, it shook it up a little bit and
yeah,
it gave it a bit more, there was a bit more about that belt when Rhea won
yeah.
it over, like
And
from Charlotte.
Becky was the safe option when Rhea relinquished the champion. She's an established champion. You know, Liv had only just come back. They wanted that revenge tour push. They're having it
Yeah,
to a degree. I'd like to see a bit more of it. But obviously, we're now counting down to King and Queen. We've literally got what 3 days, 4 days before that's live. Um, there's no more segments of Raw to come beforehand. I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence. Part of me I want to see her walk out. Not part of me. I want to see her walk out with that world championship. However, I would also like to see them extend that revenge tour. Or do they make her champion? Does she walk out with the title, and
Rhea
the
has to
revenge
come
tour
back.
continues anyway? Yeah.
Rhea
Or
has
does
to come
Rhea
back to
start
seeing her as
slowly coming
champion
back? Yeah.
because also you've got the angle that of the rumours of her prizing Dom, obviously with the
Yeah.
bandana,
Does she?
etc.
Oh,
So
that's the point. Does she win the
she's got
championship and
Rhea's
start luring
championship.
Dom?
She's got Dom by her side. She's taken everything from Rhea, and
Judgment
then
Day is imploding from the inside as well.
like is that the thing? You've got so yeah, like you say, number one, you've got the world championship.
Yeah.
Number two, you've stolen Dom, Dirty Dom. I didn't know what to call him now. I was going to call him Pappy, but it's not Pappy. So yeah, Dirty Dom. So
Pappy. I mean, he looks like Pappy.
the third thing on our list would be to beat Raya, to beat Mummy,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, she's basically took everything, and she owns
Yeah.
Rhea
And that's what
Ripley.
she said. She said, "I want to take
So,
everything you love."
and it makes perfect sense. There's a logic to it,
It does. There is a lot of logic to it, and that's why I agree with you that I would like to see her walk out the champion. I'm just on my fence as if now is the right time, but logically, yes, it is. But I want to see more of this revenge tour. But then again, like you say, that angle's there. She could then be going on and start planting that seed for Mummy to come back to absolutely nothing, or at least to something, but not what she was expecting to come back to.
yeah. Because, like I say, Becky's like she wants time off. She wants a little bit of
Yeah.
a time away. So she's held the
Well, while
title for
Steph's
a
got
bit
the time,
now,
while Steph's got the time off, it makes sense for her to have the time off because she wants that quality family time with her daughter and with her husband. So
and she's
yeah,
earned
I
it.
mean,
Like she's earned it.
yeah,
She's done
absolutely, she
everything.
has.
She was one of those that kept the WWE and the women's division alive
Yeah,
through its shit time.
yeah, that's exactly right.
She still helped. So it's not like she's not done anything, and you can sort of just you won't notice it when
Yeah,
she's gone. Like yeah, of course you're going to notice it, but it's a case where give her the time off. This is the right time to do it
yeah.
because now you've got certain women coming through that are starting to push the boundaries a bit more and starting to become more of a top threat.
That's exactly
There's a
right, and
lot
I
more
think,
there,
yeah,
so she can hand the torch over
yeah,
at
I
the
think
right
so.
time.
And I think it's a good time to do it. To be fair, it does make sense, and I will agree with you that I think Liv does walk out this weekend. Um, I think I mean that's the next thing. If you want to go on to the next thing, maybe we should talk about predictions. I know we touched on it last week, but obviously there's been some changes and stuff happened that we weren't
Well,
necessarily expecting since last
yeah, I
week.
took a couple of
Where where
major
do
L's
where do
from
you
SmackDown, so
where do you stand now on results moving forward? Obviously, we've still got SmackDown to contend with this week to find out who the finalists are for King and Queen of the Ring to go up against Gunther and Valkyria.
I still think for me, Gunter, as I said earlier, Gunter's winning it hands down. I can't see
Who's he
anything.
facing? Who's he
Uh,
facing?
it's a tough one. I'm going to go Randy. I really am.
I want to see that fight.
I
That's the
think there's
fight
a
I
big
want.
DQ. I think there's a big DQ coming, and
Yeah,
that's what help. That's what gets Randy the win.
Yeah, I don't see, like you say, I don't see Tama taking the pin just
I
yet. I
see him
think
hitting a few
that's gonna be a
RKO's.
while off. Yeah, oh,
I
I
see
hope
him.
so.
I see him probably hitting all three of them with an RKO.
Yeah,
No question about it. But I don't see him getting the victory by pin.
yeah,
I could probably see Kev. I could probably see Kev probably appearing, coming to Randy's
yeah.
aid,
But then again, there's
just to.
also the spot for him to come out and distract Logan. So
But then
it's
that's
hard to call it,
Saturday,
but
though, isn't it? If it's like he could do it
mm,
both nights.
yeah,
So
true. Yeah, that is true. That is true. I mean, I agree with you. I want to see it be Randy and Gunther because I think they'll put a hell of a
I think
fight,
that
as I said
then
earlier.
elevates Gunter to the
Yeah,
highest level he could probably
yeah, because
reach
he's
without a
beaten
title.
14-time champion. You know, yeah, absolutely. To beat someone of that caliber, other than beating John Cena, Triple H, or bloody Ric Flair. I
Yeah,
mean, Randy is up there with the most championships next to John Cena, and John Cena obviously is very limited part time at the moment. Very
yeah.
very
Cena
seldom.
Cena only comes back for a match that
Yeah,
makes sense,
yeah,
or a
exactly.
match that's going to help push a certain
Yeah,
superstar in a right
and that's why I
direction. Like,
love Cena. A lot of people say that
but
he bodies people's
Gunter's
careers and
beyond
stuff.
that
No, he
point
doesn't.
now. Like
Yeah,
he doesn't need
exactly.
pushing.
No,
He's made it his own.
he's got
He's
that
doing the
push. So
right
if he
thing.
can beat Randy Orton, I agree with you. That will be the biggest height he can reach without having a championship, at least the world championship. He's already had the IC for 666 days.
Yeah, but
So yeah, I mean, you look
he's
at Randy
destined for.
Orton. Randy Orton is 14-time world champion, multiple time United States, multiple time IC, multiple time tag team. I mean, this guy has done everything that you can have done. Hell in a Cell matches, I Quit
But
matches, Extreme Rule matches, feuds with everybody that is anybody.
Randy will get a
Mm.
shot at Cody's title, though.
Yeah,
Mark my
he
words.
needs to.
He
He needs
gets
to.
that
Just the
shot.
history alone
And
of
if no
those
one's
two.
and if anyone's to beat Cody before Roman coming back, if he even goes for Cody's
Got to
title,
be Randy.
Randy will be the one to dethrone Cody.
Yeah, I think so. I think it. I'd love to see Randy with that 15 championship reign.
And he
I think he
deserves it. He's
deserves
come
it.
back. He's a
Yeah.
new man. He's back to vintage. He's got everything like behind him again. He
You know
just
that
looks
would that would put
fresh.
him second in the most championship reigns because obviously you've got John Cena and Ric Flair tied at the moment at 16.
Yeah.
Triple H and Randy Orton are tied at 14. If you had
So
Randy take on that last one, he reckons he's still going to go for another 10 years.
yeah, so it'll be. I think yeah, he if anyone is the one to dethrone Cody
Yeah,
at this stage
I
of
agree.
where
I
we're
agree with
heading.
that totally.
As much as I'd love to see Cena come back and win in just to eclipse and be number one, I think Randy's
Hmm.
the one up there that will,
I
as an
don't
active
think
superstar, to
I
get
don't
that.
think Cena will let that happen. I think Cena
No, I think
in
Cena's got
himself,
he's got it about him to not accept that,
yeah,
and I
that's what I
think
mean. I
people will
don't think he'd
respect his
accept it.
word
I don't think
for
he'd
it,
say, I don't want to beat Rick. I'm happy to tie with Rick. I don't want to do that."
unless there was something that made 100% sense, and it
Yeah,
went on, and a story went on for 5 6 months.
yeah, exactly.
There's no point him coming back for one fight, winning, disappearing,
Yeah,
and then all
coming
of a
back,
sudden,
losing. Yeah.
yeah, what's the point? I don't think he would want that.
No, I don't think he would. I think he would think it would diminish
He
the
respects the
championship.
business
And
too much for something like
yeah,
that to happen.
absolutely. That's exactly right. But yeah, my thoughts for Friday at least. I think Randy. How we don't know, but I think Randy goes against Gunter. I see that we're going to have Bianca Belair lose to Nia Jax. It's going to be Nia Jax against Valkyria, and then I think
She's still going for
unfortunately
Nia.
Valkyria. I'm still going for Nia. I think Valkyria is going to get decimated by Nia. That sets up because if you look at it, Becky already has her match with Liv. That could still extend past King
Yeah, I
and Queen
don't.
of the Ring potentially. Bailey doesn't have a solid opponent right now, so it makes more sense for Nia to
Obviously,
take that win.
yeah, Nia's been in that bracket. Like she's
Yeah,
been testing Bailey a little bit before, but yeah,
exactly.
I'm going with Bianca just on the basis that it sets up a bit of jealousy from Jade that
Yeah,
Bianca's all of a sudden
I can
in a
see
world
where you're coming
championship
from.
match. So yeah, I'm still going against you
I
on
can
that
see
one.
where you're coming from. I'm going with Nia on that one, and then Gunter and Randy. I want to see Randy win it, but I see it being Gunter, and Gunter deserves it at this point. I'm not saying Randy doesn't, but Gunter deserves it. I think that's why they've set him up to drop the championship at WrestleMania, so we could go on to
And
this and
not
move
go
forwards.
back and
Yeah,
rematch either.
exactly,
He's left
absolutely
it
no, because
alone
yeah, because
completely.
666 days. If anybody deserves a championship match in a rematch clause, but he's like he said, Sammy ended my chapter there. I'm going on to the next thing. I'm not looking back. I'm going forward. So I
So
think it sets up Gunter. So I think as much as I don't want Randy to lose, I think Gunter will pick up the win. If it's Chimichanga, then I want Gunter to win all day.
yeah, I just don't see that being a good match. Not for
Mm,
Gunter.
No, it's a better match
It makes
for
sense on the
to be against
bloodlines.
Randy.
Makes sense for the bloodline because
Yeah,
obviously it's the closest that they've come to a world championship
but then yeah, exactly. But
since
also,
Roman.
it makes more sense for the bloodline to lose to Randy, even if it's by DQ, because it holds that beef with Randy. So there's still that possibility to move forward on SmackDown. If they beat Tamatonga, if Tamatonga beats Randy again after Backlash, then that closes off that beef in my mind
Yeah,
because he's 2-0 then, and
yeah,
it
because
just
then
makes
it's like,
it makes no
where does
sense.
Randy go? What does
Yeah,
Randy
where do they
do
go? They go after
now?
Cody, but they haven't been near Cody. And yes,
But they
it's
don't
part of a
need to
longer
go after
strategy.
him. They need
I know it's
Roman for
part of a
that.
longer strategy. Yeah, exactly. And I know it's part of a longer strategy when where Solo's going, where he's stolen our title. And I know that they want to work back towards that. But right now, it doesn't make sense because this new bloodline is still very much in its infancy. We're still yet to
Tamatonga in a
see.
world championship match just
Yeah,
doesn't make sense at all.
not this early on. No, not this
No.
early on. So it's got to be Randy. Triple threat match.
They
I'm
could
still
go,
undecided on this. Can I be
yeah,
can I be completely transparent? I don't think it's going to happen. I'm on the fence if it's going to happen. I really want Gable to walk out champion.
it's a shout. It's a shout, but I'm going for the man that's grown on me, and I'm Bronson all day
I
long.
know you're going to say this. I mean, I
Or
said last
Fire
week
Fist,
that
as I keep
Sammy
calling
will
him.
retain, and I'm calling it Sammy will retain, but I really want Gable to walk out champion.
Yeah, Fire Fist for me. Fire Fist.
Fire Fist, the man of the hour, the tsunami himself.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just grown on me a lot, and
Yeah, you
I'm
hated him at first,
impressed.
didn't you? You really didn't like him a few weeks back.
I see the hype now. I see why they've
Yeah,
pushed him to this title and what he brings.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm still on Bronson's camp.
I still think Sammy's going to pull it out of the bag and somehow retain. Um, but I would love to see Gable with that title, but I just don't think it happens right now.
And then obviously you've got Cody Logan. Obviously, the most predictable scenario is we
Is Cody wins.
99.9999% is Cody is winning that hands down. There's nothing. They'll put on a great
Yeah,
show, but Cody walks away. I would love to see Logan just ruffle a few feathers, but
I
he
think he
doesn't
will,
deserve it.
regardless. I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna come by the skin of his teeth. Cody's gonna
Yeah.
pull out of a pinfall, and that Logan's gonna hold that on him because I mean you got to bear in mind
As long
last time Liv
as
was in Saudi
as long as Cody doesn't hit the three crossroads, we need to just do one and
trifecta.
done.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
three
because
was
if he hits the
perfect
trifecta,
in the Roman saga because obviously it
yeah,
was match number three, and he won it with
yeah.
three. Done.
But it's not
Leave it
just
at
that.
that.
Logan Paul in most people's eyes is going to be uh, not lesser an opponent. He's an opponent of a different caliber, and a different skill set, etc. But longevity wise, he's not going to have. You would view him as not having the same resilience as Roman Reigns. So to hit a
No.
trifecta to do it, it just makes no sense. The one and done, like you say, um, or maybe two. Have him kick out of one early in the match, and then later on he hits one more, not a trifecta, but just one more off the cuff,
Yeah, yeah. Oh
and
no,
that's
no,
it.
yeah. Sorry, I meant in a row, three,
I
because
know what you
obviously he's
mean. Yeah,
done.
I know what you mean. Yeah, but I
Yeah,
think maybe he hits two in the match entirely. He kicks out the first one. People are
I'd
in a
love
bit
to
of shock,
see
and then
Cody Cutter. through the announce table because obviously Logan Paul loves jumping, doing
Yeah,
outside of the ring acrobatics. So
he loves going after that announce table as well.
I'd love to see
I mean
Cody Cutter right through it.
that Cody Cutter would be a huge spot. It'd be similar to an RKO, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And I think it would just light up the crowd a bit more. It would just be like,
Yeah.
what? Like,
And that's one thing that you know you're going to get with Logan. You're going to ruffle up the crowd, whether you want to love him or whether you want to hate him. You're gonna make some noise about it regardless.
yeah,
And then yeah, and you know you're going to get at least one hell of a spot in a match that you're going to talk about for a few months.
you've got to, yeah. And then you always
Yeah,
do with Logan's matches, no matter what.
exactly.
He's always got a talking point.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another reason why it's great for business. I mean, look at his. I know he brought it up. Look at his spot with Ricochet. Look at in the Elimination Chamber. I mean, my favourite spot for him in the Elimination Chamber was when he drew the fat stick man and he put Kevin Owens. It's just the comical gold. Um, but yeah, no, I see Cody winning, but I do see those nuts coming into play, and I do see it being a legal part of the contract. Aldis is the ref's going to call disqualification, and then Aldis is going to come out, or something's going to happen. It's going to be right. That's it. You're done, and
Or
he's going to go.
Logan's
Well,
got the
actually,
contract, or Speed's in that stupid prime bottle, but he's got the
yeah,
contract in there with him and he pulls it out. This is what, with Cody's signature, this
yeah,
is what you've signed. Brass knuckles can
exactly.
be used
And
or something.
he's put himself in. He's put himself up shit street to set himself up to almost lose, but not quite lose.
Yeah, so yeah, that's why I think that one. And then, like I say, Liv's walking out for me.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I do agree, and we all know how much I Liv Morgan, and how much I love Liv. I'm never going to deny that. I absolutely love Liv Morgan. Um, but regardless of that, I still think she's going to win. I still think she's going to come out, but I would like to see that revenge tour go on a little bit more. But I think you might be right. I think the angle is that she's slowly going to string Dom along to her side and coerce him from
Mm.
Mummy to the new Mummy.
Yeah, just taking everything that Rhea worked
Yeah,
for and
yeah, because
had like
Rhea's not
had.
there now. So start with the championship. She's already planted the seed with Dom anyway. So go with the championship and then just let that seed grow with Dom. Chuck in a few more little hints and tips there, and see him come along. And then the Judgment Day will implode because Dom will start swaying towards Liv. They'll get angry with Dom anyway because not
Yeah,
only has he brought Carlito in and he's siding with Carlito, and that's busting up with Damien, but then he's obviously going to start walking away from Mummy. They're going to see that and get pissy, and it's just I don't see Judgment Day lasting much longer. I think
no,
maybe a
because
couple of months.
yeah, Damien's obviously already started to slowly edge away
Yeah,
from them in the sense of where they've got their matches because obviously Carlito's been involved more.
yeah, exactly.
Dom's obviously always there anyway, but yeah, Damien's you don't see him ringside,
No, exactly that. Exactly
so
that. You don't see him at all.
the cracks are starting to show for me there.
Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. I think either way, it's going to be great. And then just following on, I've said it a couple of times already. The one thing that I want to see next week is Bron Breakker versus Ricochet. I want to see that happen.
Just a thought though, right? Random, but
Okay.
what if? Speaking of Bron Breakker, funny you brought it up, but what if, right? Obviously, he can't be controlled.
No.
That King of the Ring final. Obviously,
Don't
Gunther is
don't
on
you
Raw.
dare.
He
Yeah.
spears Gunther and
Yeah,
costs
he
him the
is.
match
Holy shit.
because he wants to be in the King of the Ring tournament. He's angry. He's not in it,
Sets up Cody to win at Saudi on the same night,
and
which will then
Randy
set up
wins.
Randy.
What if
Which will
there's
set up
a
Randy.
weird little spot there? I don't know. Maybe it's me just wishing.
And is Bash at Berlin, is that strictly Raw? Or is that a combination
Yeah,
of both?
because yeah,
Do
that's
we
Raw.
then
Because
see,
Clash
because
is
obviously,
Clash is Raw as well.
I was going to say, is Clash a combination of both? Because then do we see Randy and Cody at Clash at the Castle? I mean, if you're going to have anybody there, obviously you've got to have Drew McIntyre's got to be there.
Oh yeah, Drew, and
Surely
then
he
obviously
can really
Gunther's
fit.
going to be at Bash, so
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, although he's not actually German, but there you go.
Well,
But it still makes.
it's close enough, isn't it?
But it's like, I
It's
mean, did you
only
see that? Did you see who was it? They deleted the tweet, but did you see what I put in the chat the other day? I think it was saying about Gunter. Was it Drew McIntyre said about Gunter being Austrian, siding with Germans,
yeah. I think it was.
and having this weird dictatorship that he wants to take over a specific. I was just like, oh shit, and he's got the site. Oh my, it's like, oh my god. Okay, I can't remember who it was, but somebody they had to delete it instantly after. But I'm glad somebody managed to screenshot that.
Yeah, I can't. Oh,
Speaking of
Sheamus.
Drew, by the way,
Sheamus. It was
Sheamus,
Sheamus.
that's it, Sheamus, yeah. Um, Speaking of Drew, I've got to ask. So Drew's out injured, yeah. He got disqualified from Queen and King of the Ring because of an injury.
Yeah,
Why the
which he
fuck?
won't let go.
Yeah, which he won't let go. He won't let anything go. Um, why the fuck does he come in every week wearing his kilt, his boots, his knee pads, his leather jacket, and he's ready to fight, even though he can't fight? Why is he ready to not? When I say fight, I don't mean like a backstage brawl. I mean wrestle. Why is he ready to get in that wrestling ring and wrestle if he's not cleared to wrestle? Why is he not wearing like what he normally would? A pair of
Jeans
jeans, a
and a
pair of
t-shirt.
and a tank top and a jacket over the top of it.
But then unless it's he is showing that he is ready to wrestle at I don't know. Yeah, now you've pointed it out. I've never really picked up on
Every
that.
segment he's got backstage or in the ring, it's just like Drew, you're not cleared to wrestle. You keep going on about being disqualified, but yet
But yeah,
you're
he's there with
wearing your
yeah,
attire to wrestle.
his leather jacket, no top,
Yeah,
and a kilt.
exactly. I mean, we get
Never
it. You're a
really.
huge man.
Yeah, I never noticed that now until you say it. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
and I thought about it yesterday when I was, and
A
today
lot of them
actually,
do
because
that though, don't they?
yeah, a lot of them do, and I rewatched the highlights. But then you've got people like Dragunov and Ricochet not wrestling backstage, talking to each other, and they're wearing stunning three-piece suits, looking the bollocks. And then you got
I
Drew
suppose
just
it.
walking around everywhere in his tight black underwear, ready for a wrestling match.
Yeah, that's a good. That's yeah. All I can think of is he's showing now I'm ready to wrestle, but obviously
Yeah,
I'm not medically cleared
I'm not medically
to
cleared, but if
wrestle.
you come at me, I'm gonna fight you. But he could do that in jeans and a tank top. He's done
Yeah, I
it before.
mean it's not hard, is it?
No,
A lot of
no, it's
them
not.
are fought in worse attire
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that.
than a jeans and a t-shirt.
I mean, hey, we used to have bra and panties matches. It's not the best attire, but back in the day when we watched it, it was the best attire.
Speaking of bra and panty matches, I watched
Oh God.
WrestleMania 22 the other day.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, just because I had a real sudden urge to watch Mick Foley versus Edge in the hardcore match,
Okay, yeah.
and obviously
Ooh,
I watched it, and then I forgot for the main event, which obviously was Triple
yeah.
H John Cena. You had the bra and panties match, which Michelle
Oh,
McCall, I can't remember if she fought now,
she doesn't do it for me. She doesn't do it for me.
she walked away winning, and then obviously you had
Yeah.
Laura, and the
Oh yeah. Talking about the puppies.
yeah.
Man, he
Oh
loves
my
the
God.
puppies.
I was because it was like hidden before a main
Yeah.
event like that, but obviously back then it was yeah the crowd loved it, but there was not much hype to the match. It was just it was like one of those intervals, weren't it?
It's
Interval
like a yeah.
matches.
I know what you mean. It's just like there's
Everyone
fill the
go
gap.
get go catch a break, go get something to eat,
Yeah.
drink. Main event is after because I remember that main event was great as well though
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I forgot that was the stage when John Cena was being forced down everyone's throat too
Yes,
much,
he was.
and he was so hated.
Yeah.
Bit like the Roman side of it,
Yeah, he was at
where
first. They were capitalizing on it a bit too much. They were
everyone
just yeah.
everyone was against him, and obviously whenever he was hitting his move, like his finishes and stuff, and it was the boos were rolling out. Then Triple H kicks out, and everyone's like, "Yeah," because obviously Triple H was the fan favorite. Everyone loved Triple
Yeah.
H. That was his
Yeah.
prime era. And then obviously, yeah, you had Cena win that match, and it didn't
Yeah.
go down too well.
Well, look at
But
what happened when Cena went to
the
fight
rest is
RVD
history.
at ECW.
I watched that the other week as well. Funny enough,
Dude, that's crazy. That crowd was wild.
that was.
Absolutely wild.
I thought they were great. Those ECW
Oh
takeovers at
yeah,
that, how they
absolutely.
done
They
it.
were amazing. They were absolutely amazing.
Like Sabu in his absolute
Oh,
prime of just
Sabu
Tommy.
was told for years, that he'd never make it in WWE, and I think they should have given him. And it was Vince McMahon, I believe, if I remember
Thought
correctly, that told
too
him that.
hardcore, weren't it?
But then they had the Sandman come in with a kendo stick and a beer and a fag, and he's go beat the shit out of people. I think Sabu was on another level of hardcore, but that's what people loved about him. He brought that extreme. That's why ECW suited Sabu so well, because he had
Yeah,
that hugely extreme element to him. He was just this off the cuff, loose hinge, bloody, Middle Eastern guy that was just ready to kick the shit out of people.
yeah, he was. Yeah, it was just a mad matches. Like obviously, like those ECW versus Raw versus SmackDown, weren't it? At
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stage, and it was you had EC like the one night stand,
Yes.
but
Well, it's like when they did
they
the
were just
whole
they were
invasion,
crazy.
like when Shane McMahon bought WCW and they started bringing in WCW, and then Vince brought out ECW, and you had the different teams, and you didn't know who was who. You didn't know who was going with who. Like Jericho originally came from WCW, but he was teaming with Team WWF, and it was
The
just mental.
allegiances switch so quickly at times,
Yeah,
like especially with the
exactly.
ECW Raw SmackDown, because obviously like
Yeah,
the titles just kept doing the round robin. Like
exactly that.
you just couldn't
I'll
keep
tell you
up
what
with
I
it
did.
half the time.
I'll tell you what I watched the other day that I hadn't seen in ages, actually, and it was only like a 5 minute clip of his debut, but I can't get over. And I know he's a massive man, but you could see obviously as he gets older, muscles deteriorate a little bit. No matter how much you do weightlifting and stuff, even into old age, your muscles naturally deteriorate, even if they're still huge. But I couldn't just fathom how big this man was. And Kane, I mean, what the size of that man is crazy. I get he's tall as hell, but holy shit, the man was built like a fucking tank.
Have you been like like looking into my mind at what I've been watching lately? Because weirdly enough, right, I was on the network the other day and I was
Right.
like, I want to look back at some old Kane stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I searched up and then I found some really raw vintage footage of Kane going to OVW to face
Oh my god.
Leviathan, or as we know him, Batista at
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stage. But it weren't just Kane that went over, because at that stage, obviously, OVW was like the breeding ground
It
for
was the
WWE
development. It
superstars.
was basically the
So
performance center. Yeah.
Batista or Leviathan and Sky, I believe her name was, his manager.
Right.
At that point, they were calling out Stone Cold constantly, saying how
Oh,
much
amazing.
Leviathan was they're better than
Yeah,
Stone
yeah.
Cold, and then she had beef with Lita
Okay.
as well. And so in this match, obviously it was Kane versus Leviathan.
Yeah.
It was a good match to watch. It was pretty fun. And then all of a sudden, you had Lita come out and start beating up Sky. Then the Hardy Boys
Love it.
appeared and then
Yeah,
beat
because
up
obviously with
Batista
Lita.
or
Yeah.
Leviathan. And then all of a sudden, Stone Cold Steve Austin out of
That
nowhere,
glass rattles.
literally.
Oh
No,
my
just
god.
it was silent. He
Just right. Okay.
dived into the ring, and all you saw was just that, and then
Yeah.
the stunner,
Stunner.
and then Kane just picked him up, choke slam,
Choke
one,
slammed him.
2, 3. But the crowd,
Amazing.
it was huge, like,
Yeah.
but it was like proper vintage footage. It was like you're watching it on a
And it
VHS
is.
tape that's starting to die.
It is a shame because you can see, like watching the Netflix series of OVW, you can see how much love Al Snow has for that company and why he invested in it and why he wanted to own
Yeah,
it. And it is a shame that they did part ways with OVW. But WWE had so much love for OVW that I think they were saying at the beginning of the series that out of all the developmental companies they dealt with, OVW are one of the only ones in that area of the country that are still standing, if not the only one
yeah. I think
that
it
are still
was that they
standing.
mapped it out, didn't they? They're the only
Yeah,
ones
yeah, yeah.
like originals that are
But it
still
is a
there. But
shame because
I just thought
OVW, I mean, obviously, you got the OVW, the famous four that come from OVW in the same year: John Cena, Randy
Brock
Orton,
Cena,
Batista, and Brock Lesnar.
So it was just, yeah, but when I saw it, I was just like, oh, I'm watching this. Like, I've found
Oh,
it
it's
on here.
crazy.
And
It's
it's,
crazy.
like I say,
You
it
know what it
was,
is. I'm probably getting suggestions because of all the emails I get when you've signed into 40,000 different devices for Turnbuckle Talk. You've probably been looking at this shit on a Turnbuckle Talk account, and it's going right. Okay, we're going to send you all these
can't help
footages
it. I love a
of
vintage
Kane and stuff.
match. I love a
Oh,
vintage
dude,
match.
you've got to love a vintage match. Absolutely.
I always
I
like
love
going
going
back
back.
and watching the old pay-per-views.
Yeah, absolutely. I love going back and watching some of the WCW stuff as well because obviously, like I said, we had no Sky or anything, so my era growing up when I was 13, 14, when I was like really hammered wrestling all the time, was WCW. So for me, that's great to go back and watch. I love going
There-
back to
There's
watch
so
Monday
much
Nitro.
on that
Yeah,
network. Like,
absolutely.
because if you can't, because I like the way that the network breaks it down into some other bits though, like
Yeah,
greatest. Then they split it, don't they? Like greatest SmackDown matches, and then you've got
that's
greatest Raw
exactly right.
matches, and there's just so much going on there. Like
Yeah,
you could spend. It's
and
like going through Netflix. You could just spend hours looking for something.
that's why I hope they keep the network. I know that they're saying that potentially, eventually, everything that's on the network will come over to Netflix, which is great. But for now, they have to keep it because it's just all there in
Well,
one
yeah, I don't.
place.
It's not.
It'd be
It's not going to
amazing.
be. It's right. So it's going to be
It won't be
discontinued,
instant.
but
Yeah,
it's the pay-per-views, the live pay-per-views or PLEs as we call them, but
yeah,
they will go straight onto Netflix straight away.
yeah.
But and then obviously
Still
it's
Raw, right? Raw is going straight on as well from I
Raw
think
as
it's
well.
January of next year, isn't it?
I think it's the one after Royal Rumble, isn't it? When it goes
Oh, is
on.
it? Yes, at the end. So beginning of February, end of
Yeah,
January time.
I'm pretty sure it's after that.
Okay,
Or the
sounds
Royal
good.
Rumble might be the first live event that Netflix get, and then
Yeah,
obviously it
maybe.
stems
Yeah,
up.
maybe.
I know it's around that part when it does make the move over, so
Yeah.
it's not long either. It'll come round
No,
quick.
it's not at all. Well, it will do. Yeah, I mean, this whole year has gone massively quick, and I think you get to that point in life where everything just goes quick anyway, right? I mean, you look at the beginning of the year and you're like, oh, it's January, everything's going so slow, and then next thing you know, you blink and it's like, oh shit, it's August.
Yeah, so it's mad. Oh, speaking of Kurt Angle, actually earlier, right?
God, here we go. Have you got his pop vinyl now?
Look what I got the other day. Kurt
Is that the one that
Angle
I've got?
pop vinyl,
I'm not sure if that might be the same one that I've got actually. I've got an Angle one as well.
£6 in Smith's Toys.
Fantastic. Actually, I'm going to pop into I am going to order on Smith's. I said to the missus, I'm going to sell some, so I'm going to pull those out and get those taken photos and sell them. But I really want the Cody Rhodes with the the torn pectoral muscle and the sledgehammer in hand.
But yeah, in my Smith's Toys though, whenever I go down the pop vinyl section, everything is everywhere. They do not
Yeah,
match the stickers underneath. This weekend though, when I went in there,
yeah,
someone and they are an absolute living legend has obviously taken everything off of that whole like aisle or half aisle of
yeah.
pop vinyls, taken everything off and matched every single one to their label.
Ah, what a legend.
And I was just like, I was looking at it and I was like, wait, that matches up. Wait, that matches up. I was like, oh my God,
Mm.
I'm actually going to find what I want here. This is
Someone's
incredible.
been there when it's closed and gone, right,
Oh,
okay,
they are a
this is
living
our task
legend,
for the morning.
honestly. And then I saw,
Yeah,
because I was
I know
looking
what
for
you mean though.
I was looking for the WWE ones, and I was like, "Oh, that one's not there." And then they had like the double jointed, the doubles. Like obviously, you had the Usos, but that was like they was quite expensive. I was like, "Oh, I'm not paying 40. I think it's like £41." I was like, "I ain't paying
Really?
that."
That's
Yeah.
expensive. Yeah, that's too
And
Smiths are
then
usually a good price though, most of the time.
yeah, I don't. It was a vintage one. It was an old one though. It was them with the bloodline tops on, so it was quite an older. Like they had caps on. They were. It was quite
Yeah,
an
yeah.
older one because there is quite a few.
Still, 41 quid. That's
Because like
expensive.
you've got the Hulk Hogan one with the poster in the background,
Yes,
which
the big standing up case one. It's like a
yeah,
comic book size one. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, the old
I like
Hogan.
that.
Because
But
there's
again,
two variants of Hogan ripping his shirt as well. Because the original one is just ripping his shirt, and then the newer one is ripping his shirt, but he's wearing a title.
I never noticed that. Yeah,
Yeah, he's wearing a championship.
I've
Yeah,
seen one of them. Can't remember what one.
yeah. Because I
But
remember
yeah,
going out to find it when it first was released, and you couldn't find it anywhere. You could not find it anywhere. And then I just went into Asda one day and I was like, oh, I'm going to have a look. And I found it in there and it was like £5. I was like, I am taking that.
Is that stage? That's like I always make an excuse when I'm going in
Yeah.
anywhere just to find the toy aisle to see if they've got
Yeah.
pop
I know what you
vinyls.
mean. I do. Like, we've got our local Tesco normally have Funko Pops in there. But I don't know if you know, but Tesco have just joined with the Entertainer. So they're now
Ah,
selling
because Entertainer normally
Entertainer
have
toys.
a
Yeah,
big section
exactly.
of pop
So I
vinyls.
went upstairs into our local Tesco and had a look in there, and they had no pop vinyls at all. They'd gone. All of them had gone and been taken out.
Yeah, my one they brought down the price on the ones they had, but
Yeah,
they weren't decent ones anyway. But
no,
they
I know what you mean.
they're
I mean, I
obviously where
collect a
you say
variety.
that they've wiped out every bit of toys, so obviously they're looking at a different
Yeah,
section
I
of
think so. I mean, I collect
assortment
a huge
coming out.
variety, not just one. Like WWE ones, I won't even attempt to buy them all. There's so many. I just go out and
God,
buy the
no.
ones of my favorite wrestlers and stuff. And ones that I
What's
really like. And like my
yeah,
favorite set that I've got, right? My favorite set that I've got that is complete is the Warriors. You know, the film from the 70s, Warriors, where they're running through New York.
good
I've got
shout there,
all of
yeah.
those. And then I've also got the Black Panther set from the original Black Panther movie, the first one, as well as additional Black Panther pop vinyls.
Yeah, mine's Marvel. Mine's well, I say Marvel. Mine's X Force as they're known in Deadpool.
X Force, yeah.
I've got all of them
Have you
just
really?
because yeah, I had
Crazy.
to. I mean, I got
Yeah,
gifted one, and then I looked on the back and I was like, I want the other three.
there's more, yeah.
So
And
I
then you
went and
find
got
out
them.
there's not actually just three. There's like
Actually,
33.
well, these are actually all together on the back on every
Yeah.
single one, so they're an actual
Oh,
set
okay.
to their own. But yeah, I know what you mean because when you look on the back of wrestling ones,
It's like, yeah, you
you
look
have
on the back of
you
wrestling,
have
there's like four others. You're like, oh, I want these. And then you look on the back of the next one, it's like there's 10 others on there. And it's
you've
like, hold
picked
on a
up the
minute,
one
there's
that was
six
on
of
the
these.
back of this one, and then
Yeah,
all of a sudden
exactly.
there's a different four on there. I'm like, wait,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. It's the same with the Black Panther one. So I think there's six. I think there's like 20 in the first Black Panther set, thereabouts. And there's
It's
like
mad.
six different versions of Black Panther. And there's like glow in the dark ones, there's UV ones, there's, you know, black light ones and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay. And I remember picking up the first case and I was like, oh, awesome. Yeah, there's five. I'll get all five. No, there's not five. There's like 26 or however many there are.
It's always there.
Mm.
I love them, but man, can you spend so much money on them?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was when I gave up smoking. That was where my money started going originally. You know, I started saving money there,
It
and it was like,
become
okay, I'll just buy pop vinyls. Yeah.
it's a hobby. It's like I go on Amazon to buy something, and then I think, oh, you know what? I'll just have a look at little
Oh,
pop vinyls,
yeah.
and then an hour later, I'm still looking through the list, like
I
but
do it all the
adding
time.
ones to my list.
There's two things that I look for every time. I'll go onto Amazon just to have a look. Sometimes I won't even be looking specifically. I'll see what Amazon suggests for me. There's two things it will suggest to me without fail: Funko Pops, watches.
Yeah, mine's Funko Pops and then computer accessories
Yeah, yeah, I
because
feel that.
I'm always buying, I'm always buying tech,
Yeah,
just something
I do too. I
random
love a bit of tech.
that
I love a
I
bit
don't
of tech.
even need it, but it looks cool. It does cool things, so I'll buy it.
Yeah,
But I'll barely use it.
you're one of these sort of guys that will like buy.
I'm a
Uh,
hoarder.
yeah, you'd
I'm a
buy.
hoarder of
Have
tech.
you bought one of these? It wouldn't surprise me actually if you bought one of these alarm clocks that hovers, so you have to get out of bed. And it like
Oh
floats
no,
around the room.
no, I couldn't do that. My alarm clock has to stay in one space so I can just flick it
You
off.
can oh, mate, I do it every morning. I turned it on to snooze on my phone, and then the Alexa will go off, and I'm like, just shut up. I need another 10 minutes or so. Just shut up, seriously. But I say to Lady McT all the time because she'll say, "Why don't you set your alarm for this time and just get up?" I'm like, "Can't. I need my bonus sleep." She's like, "But if you have your alarm set for this time, you know you're asleep until that time." I'm like, yeah, but if I wake up at 7:20
Then
and I
you need an
know I
extra
need to
10
get up,
minutes.
I know I need to get up for 7:45. I get that bonus sleep. She's like, "But you could just stay asleep." I don't know, but I don't know I've had it then.
Yeah, it
I
don't work
need
like
to
that.
feel like no, exactly. I need to have that bonus sleep. But on that note, I think that that about brings it to the end.
Includes
We've gone
episode
completely off
5.
topic. I know, it's crazy. It's gone really quickly. It's gone really quickly.
100%. But yeah,
And we've got 4
peop
special guests lined up.
big moments coming up. I've had a few people on TikTok reach out about inquiring a few wrestle talkers that I speak to
Oh yeah, let's
that
do it,
would
man. I mean,
that are
we've got
interested.
3. We obviously one of the guys that we've got lined up is Boss Beatdown. For those of you who don't know, he's a great streamer friend of mine and JJ's that we've known both mutually for a good couple of years now. He's an absolute legend, and he has, since I started my wrestling stream a couple of years ago, he's heavily got back into wrestling, and he's really passionate about it again. So we're definitely going to get him on. And then we've also got 3 UK wrestlers that are in the wrestling scene. They're professional wrestlers over here in the UK. We're going to get them on and chat to them about wrestling. One of them is a current heavyweight champion. The others are former champions and just fantastic people as well as wrestlers. And then obviously you're now getting inquiries as well to join us.
Yeah, so I've got a couple that I speak to like day to day because, like I say, wrestling community on TikTok is great, hands
Well, the
down.
wrestling community as a whole is amazing.
It's
You may
it,
disagree, but you can
it,
respectfully disagree and still get on with everything.
it's such a great place, and yeah, I've met
Yeah,
some really good people on there over since like starting my TikTok journey on that. And yeah, there's a guy called Stally who's a great guy, English guy as well. So he's like down to
nice.
earth. He's Yeah, he's just a great guy. Honestly, he's fun. He's got everything that you want in a personality
Yeah,
for a wrestle talker. And the
fantastic.
same with
Sounds like JJ's. Sounds like JJ's man crushing over here.
another guy called Max as well, under Max's wrestling channel, who does similar to what I do, the reactions,
Yeah.
but also he's like got one of the biggest wrestling collections that I've ever seen, from figures to belts. Honestly,
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, some
it's
people.
great.
It's. I mean, it's something you could go out and spend a fortune on, and it's something that I've considered. I don't have the room, but I would love to have a belt wall where I could have my championships hung up and collect more. Same with the Funkos. Um, Unfortunately, we don't have the room. Otherwise, that's what I'd be working towards most definitely. But this is why I said to you, I'm starting to save, hopefully for next year, to get a summer house put in the garden, a small summer house that I can have as my own for a podcast center as well as a streaming room, and I can
Mm.
have all my collectibles and stuff in there as well.
Yeah, no, that's my
But
idea.
yeah,
I want a little outhouse as a
yeah.
little office, but yeah, be
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, mine would be in office as well because I use it during the day and stuff. Because there's a lot of stuff that I'm planning that I want to push forward with, personally, like with my photography is one thing that I'm really that I really want to push back into. But on that note, everybody, we've got big things coming up. We've got a special guest. Don't
yes,
forget also, hopefully soon we're going to do a live podcast. We're actually going to do it live.
yeah, and
So
we'll
that's going to be fantastic.
stream it across a couple of channels. You
Yeah,
got
we
your
will do. We'll
Twitch,
stream
you
it
got your
across. We'll
TikTok,
stream it across Twitch, TikTok. We'll set up a live YouTube stream as well, so
so
we can
yeah,
do it across all different platforms. It's exciting
keep your eyes
times.
out. Keep your eyes out on that, but don't forget to follow all the socials. Turnbuckle,
Yes,
Turnbuckle
we now
Talk, and
have a
Turnbuckle 97.
we now have we now have our own YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. There's a
So
couple of
yeah,
videos up on there already. JJ's been nailing the social media. He's been
so
hitting that up with shalom bombs all day.
get on it, guys, and
Shalom.
yeah, we'll see you on the next episode. But
We will. We will see
as
you all
always,
again.
fantastic. You take care of yourself, my man.
Dude,
Peace
appreciate
out.
you, and we'll see you next week. Much love, people.